Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for the running of the Clean Harbors 150 at the Knoxville Raceway. Live on KRC as we are getting set for action dirt racing in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on a Saturday night on Father's Day weekend. Thanks to everybody tuning in for this late Saturday night stream. Again, another live race commentary live stream on the channel right here, right now. And I can't wait to see what the Truck Series will bring. This is the third NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live stream on the season as far as the live race commentary. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content and live race commentary on the race weekends, as well as a video game live realistic commentary throughout the course of the week as well. I think now is going to be a good time to get through tonight's starting lineup. No pre-race for the Trucker Xfinity Series live streams usually. Before the Cup Series races, we have about a half hour, 45 minute or so pre-race coverage, but just getting things kicked off right here, right now. And might as well go through the starting order for tonight's race. Now, we did that at the end of the last live stream a couple hours ago, as we already had 4 heat races that set the starting lineup for tonight's field. Derek Kraus, Carson Hocevar will be on road number 1. Kraus will be the pole sitter for the start of the race. Carson Hocevar won his heat race in heat race number 2 earlier today. Ben Rhodes and Stuart Friesen will be in row number 2. Ben Rhodes dominated the Dirt Bristol race earlier this season. Stuart Friesen won the last Eldora truck race in 2019. Buddy Kofoid and John Hunter Nemechek will be the 2 KBM trucks rounding out row number 3. Kofoid making a one-off start as a dirt racing regular. Ty Majeski, Haley Deegan will be in row 4. Haley Deegan won her heat race earlier today in heat race number 3. Todd Gillen, Chandler Smith will be in row 5. Gillen won heat race number 4. Chandler Smith led a lot of laps in heat race number 2. We got passed late by Hocevar. Ended up pushing him back to that second place finish and maybe costing him a shot at starting inside the top 5 tonight. Grant Enfinger and Matt DiBenedetto will be in row 6. Enfinger has a former dirt race win in the Truck Series in 2018 at Eldora. Tyler Ankrum and Tyler Carpenter will be in row number 7. Ankrum also a former dirt winner in the Truck Series. Zane Smith and Tanner Gray will be in row number 8. Row number 9 will be Kaz Gralla, Dean Thompson. Jessica Friesen and Christian Eckes will be in row number 10. Friesen, of course, the wife of Stuart Friesen. A lot of dirt racing experience for her, and Christian Eckes has a win this season locked into the playoffs. Looking for more playoff points today, potentially. Matt Crafton and Colby Howard will be in row 11. Crafton comes in the last driver above the cutoff line on points coming into tonight's race. He's 33 points to the good. Brett Moffitt and Joey Gase will be in row number 12. In row 13 will be Chris Wright, Bryson Mitchell. Row 14 will be Chase Purdy, Timmy Hill. And row 15 will be Thad Moffitt and Dylan Westbrook. Westbrook making the start for Jordan Anderson Racing, another Dirt Series regular. Brayton Laster and Blaine Perkins will be in row number 16. Row 17 will be Devin Rouse and Lawless Allen. And rounding out the field tonight, in row 18 will be Spencer Boyd and Jack Wood. 2 drivers failed to qualify for the race earlier today, as there were 38 entries, but only 36 got to race their way in through the heat races earlier on. The 4 heat race winners earlier today. John Hunter Nemechek won heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 was won, as mentioned moments ago, by Carson Hocevar. Haley Deegan won heat race number 3. And in heat race number 4, it was Todd Gillen, the only Cup Series regular in the field tonight, getting the win. Terry Lewis, Derek Booth, Asai Z, and others, welcome into the stream. Already over 20 people watching the live stream. We had 50 people watching the heat races earlier on tonight. I think you guys are ready for the main event where the points are on the line. We're going to see some mud and some dirt slinging. Visibility was a big issue in the heat races earlier today. With the sun going down, I think it'll be a little bit easier to see than what it was earlier today with no glare. But but it doesn't mean it will necessarily be easy to see. Track position is going to be a big focus in today's race. Last year's Knoxville truck race, it was mainly a one-groove track around the bottom. And even in the Dirt Bristol races earlier this season with the truck in the Cup Series, it seemed like it was hard to pass the leader. Large part was due to visibility. This is not a multi-groove dirt track, at least from last year's experience and at least in the heat race earlier today as well. It's going to be very tough to pass without any contact. It's going to feel as if like it's a traditional half-mile short track despite the fact that it is on dirt. Not going to see the truck slinging sideways in the middle of the corner similar to what you would see normal dirt cars. These trucks are not purpose-built for the dirt. But it'll be fun to watch them nonetheless. Ice the Monkey 92 Hammer, welcome to the stream. Watching SRX right now. Yes, that is on tonight as well. Their season premiere. You have to keep me updated in the chat what's going on over there. Our full focus is going to be on this Truck Series race tonight with this live realistic commentary. It's the third Truck Series race on the channel this season. We'll go back to the live commentary for the Cup Series races next weekend. Was supposed to do that last week at Sonoma. My first time back at the house in a few weeks to see a Cup race to give you guys a live commentary, but I had a issue where my phone was no longer on me. I had to get a new one. I didn't get home until about the end of stage 2. Again, I apologize for that one, but that's in the past. It's only up to me to make it up to you guys here in the future, giving you as good a relay of these these real races as possible, the realistic commentary along the way. Put your picks down in the chat below right now before this race gets underway tonight. Who is your guys' pick to win? My pick is going to be Ben Rhodes tonight. And I'm taking Ben Rhodes because he dominated at Dirt Bristol earlier this year. And not only that, but he also looked really, really good in the heat races earlier today. Passed probably more trucks than anybody else. I guess Derek Kraus would have technically passed more trucks than anybody else. That's why he's on the pole. But Rhodes had a pretty stacked heat. Him and Ty Majeski definitely looking like by far and away the two best Thor Sport trucks through the heat races earlier today. We'll look at the point standings going into tonight's race. We did that earlier today, but we'll do it right now before this race gets underway while we're still waiting. Oh, that's the Cup Series. So again, a pretty tight battle for the regular season championship. Just 4 races to go in the regular season for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Ben Rhodes currently leads the standings by only 5 points over Chandler Smith in second. Zane Smith in third, only 12 out of the lead. And John Hunter Nemechek only 14 points back from Ben Rhodes, fourth in the standings. With 4 races to go. It's going to be fun to watch that regular season battle unfold over the next 4 races and, of course, tonight as well. 5 drivers are locked into the playoffs with wins. 10 drivers qualify for the Truck Series playoffs. The 5 drivers locked in right now with 3 wins would be Zane Smith. He has the most on the season for the Truck Series. And then 4 drivers with 1 win that is running full-time for the Truck Series in points this year, being Ben Rhodes, Chandler Smith, John Hunter Nemechek, and Stuart Friesen. Ty Majeski is the highest of the drivers in the standings on overall points. 112 points to the good. 96 points to the good is Christian Eckes, who comes in 7th. An injured Carson Hocevar going to start and attempt to run the full race tonight. No driver on standby. Remember, he had a bad crash on the final lap of the race in St. Louis a couple weeks ago at Gateway. Ended up having to make the start last week at Sonoma, but hopped out early in the race for Daniel Suarez to take over driving duties for him. He was able to get at least enough points and still sits 87 points above the cutoff line comfortably, as long as we don't get too many winners below the cutoff line and the remaining races in the regular season in the Truck Series. Grant Enfinger, we mentioned he's got a lot of dirt experience. He's got a great starting spot tonight, and he is ninth in the standings coming in. He needs a good points day. He's 57 points to the good. Matt Crafton, 33 points to the good. Again, the final driver above the cutoff line on points. The drivers just below the cutoff line on points coming into tonight's race. Tanner Gray would be 11th. He is 33 points down from Crafton. Matt DiBenedetto is 36 points back from Crafton, but Crafton has been in a little bit of a slump. He's had 3 straight finishes outside the top 10, where Matty D is starting to kind of pick up the pace as the season gets further on. He's riding a little bit of a hot streak of his own. Derek Kraus on the pole tonight may have a shot to win and knock Crafton below the cutoff line. He is 39 points below. And Tyler Rankrum, a former dirt winner in the Truck Series for Hattori Racing, is 50 points below the cutoff line. Chase Purdy would be the next closest driver in the standings in 15th. He's 91 points back right now. Pretty much everybody from 15th in the standings on back is likely in a must-win scenario. Terry Lewis is picking John Hunter Nemechek to win tonight. Yeah, Richard Petty was there for the command today. Here's a pre-race interview with Ben Rhodes.
And we did try him, and he talked to us before. It's always perfect in rehearsal, right? But he's got a lot going on. But I know he likes talking on the broadcast, so hopefully we'll hear from him later on.
Come find me in Victory Lane.
I guess I couldn't get a hold of Ben Rhodes, so never mind. Yeah, they're not getting him. They tried 3 times already. They have not gotten any word of Ben Rhodes. False alarm. We'll go through tonight's lengths in the stages. 40 laps in stage number 1. Stage 2 will be 50 laps, and then the final stage will be the longest of 60 laps, making up the 150-lap main event feature tonight, 75 miles, with this being a half-mile short track. The trucks are rolling out onto the racetrack right now. Already went through the starting lineup, and we're just a few pace laps away from the start of today's race. Another interesting story from the 42 of Carson Hocevar entering this race today. He ended up damaging the splitter of the race truck down on the burn on the inside of one of the corners while trying to battle Chandler Smith for the win in heat race number 2. Pretty much just kind of tore off the area that was kind of hanging or maybe dragging in the mud and in that dirt prior. So hopefully his truck will still aerodynamically be up to pace, but kind of like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be more of a short track feel. I don't think the aerodynamics are going to be a big advantage at this racetrack today. This is probably going to look very similar to a Martinsville style rough 'em up, bang 'em kind of a race. Main event is starting in the SRX race. And 40, 50, and 60 are the stages. 12 cautions in the Knoxville truck race last season. There has been double-digit cautions in all but 2 dirt races. 3, actually, after the Dirt Bristol race earlier this season in Truck Series history. So the likelihood of seeing quite a few yellows today is very high. Saw some aggressive racing at times in the heat races earlier. I mentioned that battle for the win in heat race number 2 between Chandler Smith and Carson Hocevar. There was also some beating and banging towards the end of the final heat race between Stuart Friesen and a couple other race trucks battling 3rd through 5th. Friesen was able to get by both trucks, including one pass on the last lap, and he's starting on the outside of row 2. The inside lane will likely be the preferred lane on the restart. That is the lane of choice that everybody took at the start of the heat races earlier. There were no cautions for incident in any of the 4 heat races, so there were no restarts to go by. And once again, last time before we get started tonight, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Only 5 likes on the stream right now and just over 30 people watching as we are getting ready to get going very shortly for the Clean Harbors 150 at the Knoxville Raceway. Also to mention that Ben Rhodes dominated the race earlier this season at Dirt Bristol, but Carson Hocevar ended up finishing second in that race, and he won his heat race earlier today from a little bit deep in the field, about mid-pack. A little 4-wide salute at Knoxville before we get things started today. The 3-wide right now, and here comes the 4th lane. Something you usually see in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. Of course, the biggest dirt car race in the United States, held at the Knoxville Raceway of the Knoxville Nationals. Usually one of the first weekends of August every year. Pretty decent crowd on hand tonight. Especially when you consider that it's a Truck Series standalone event. And only the second race at Knoxville for the Truck Series. Bentley Potts, Tyler Burbeck, Ashton G, welcome into the stream. Kraus, Deegan, Hocevar, those are your 3 picks. Everybody start spamming your picks in the comments section down below. And my pick is going to be Ben Rhodes tonight. I'd like to see what you guys have to pick before this race gets underway. Bold prediction from Tyler Burbeck saying Haley Deegan will win. She had speed earlier. We'll see if she'll have speed in the race itself. It definitely helped that she started on the front row and had a great launch on the restart. Some of the faster trucks in her heat of Ben Rhodes and Buddy Kofoid both starting ahead of her because they had passed a lot of trucks to get to second and third behind Deegan at the end of that third heat race earlier on this evening. Ace Truck still out on the track right now. The field on the back straightaway, and I think they'll be going green this time by. Bentley Potts says Carson Hocevar. Brian Rodriguez, welcome to the stream. He says Chandler Smith will win tonight. Pace Truck will make the big left-hand turn off of the exit of turn 4. Derek Kraus will elect the inside lane for the start of tonight's race. He's below the cutoff line coming in. Likely needs a win to get in. Green flag is in the air. We're underway. Dirt racing in NASCAR once again this season. This time at Knoxville under the lights. Side by side down the back straightaway, and Carson Hocevar will clear Derek Kraus off the outside lane despite not being the control car off the start of this race. And Hocevar is going to go on to lead lap number 1. Outside lane really getting going early on as Stuart Friesen is also able to get around Derek Kraus off the exit of turn 4 for second. Ben Rhodes could not get to the outside of the 19 before finally Kraus was able to move up into that outside groove himself. Looking a little dustier right now than what it may have been during the heat races early on. That will keep the mud from caking up onto the windshield, but if you're back in the middle of the back of the pack, the dust bowl is going to be very hard to see as well. Remember, most local dirt tracks are used to running only about 20 to 24 cars in a main event race for about usually a 30 to 50 lap stretch. This is almost over three times the amount of a normal local dirt track, short track main event race, and there are almost twice as many cars out on the racetrack at the same time. Another reason why visibility is going to be a main issue outside of just the mud and the normal dust that you would see in general anyway. Caution's already out for the first time today on lap number 3. Contact towards the back of the pack as Dean Thompson looked to have been involved. He's got some damage on the left rear. It looks like his left rear tire is flat. And it looked like he had some help maybe from Christian Eckes in the 98. So rookie Dean Thompson will go for a spin. First caution of the race. It almost looked like he crowded the 98 of Eckes So I don't think that was really Eckes' fault. It looked like he was well on the inside of Thompson. Thompson either went to throw a late block or didn't realize he was there one way or another. Not a great move from Thompson. Basically spun himself off the front bumper of the 98 and now has a flat left rear tire as a result. He'll be going to the tail end of the field. He was mid-pack. So those guys were battling right around 18th to 20th. So that did not take long for the first yellow today. A spin from Thompson on lap 3. Okay, no live pit stops tonight either, and the pit stops will likely all be taking place at the end of the stages unless, of course, somebody gets involved in an incident like Thompson. He could come down onto pit road now during the caution period. He could change tires, get back out on the racetrack. Now, you don't have to necessarily pit at the stage ends either. If you stay out of the pits during the stage breaks, then you will restart ahead of the cars that elect to pit and take on fresher tires. I'd imagine they'll probably need to take fuel at one point in time. If I remember right from the Dirt Bristol races, the big strategy to maintain the track position, which was so vital in that race, and I'm sure will be vital today, you're likely going to see a lot of the front runners early on pit during stage 1 and then stay out of the pits stage number 2. We'll see if that'll be the same today when the time comes. Again, we're under caution for the first time tonight at lap number 3. Dean Thompson spinning off the front bumper of Christian Eckes, running mid-pack where that happened. Everybody else was able to miss the accident. Thompson has a flat left rear. He's on pit road right now. They're changing that tire. Having troubles trying to jack it up right now with it being down on the rim. Caution laps do count. Unlike most local dirt races, they do not. Because of the longer race length, that is the reason why. And they're only changing the left rear tire. So they are not changing any more tires on the 40 truck of Dean Thompson. Just changing the left rear, trying to save the sets of tires they have for the rest of the night. They were trying to push his car out of the box as well, and they were having issues. There was quite a bit of smoke pouring out of the hood of the race truck. And the lights are out on the pace truck at the front of the field. They'll be going green this time without Thompson, as he is still stuck on pit road with some sort of mechanical issue now. After stalling the race truck out and trying to get it fired up to get off of pit road. Super B-Man 1, welcome to the stream. How's it going tonight, Tim? Hocevar will elect the outside lane on the restart. We haven't seen anybody do that yet today, but he was able to get a great launch on the initial start despite not being the control truck and was able to get to the lead. Stuart Friesen will be on the inside of road number 1 underneath him, and we'll have just over 30 laps to go in stage 1 when we get back to the green flag. And there it is, green flag back in the air. Hocevar gets another great launch on the outside, and Friesen is going to get mowed around by the next truck in line behind the 42. And that would be Ben Rhodes in the 99 truck moving up to second place, passing Friesen. Remember, no choose cone rule tonight. The leader gets his lane choice, but everybody else will have to follow in line accordingly. And Friesen unfortunately fell back to third as a result. Hocevar did not get off the exit of turn 4 well compared to the 99 and the 52 trucks behind him. Rhodes drives it in deep underneath him, nearly making contact as he tries to make the pass through turns 1 and 2, and they're side by side for the lead. After the missed slide job attempt by Rhodes and nearly running into the side of Hocevar, Hocevar will be able to hold on to the lead. The 52 truck checked up behind him, and now John Hunter Nemechek is underneath Friesen for third. Side by side there. Already seeing some multi-groove racing tonight. We usually haven't seen that, or at least didn't see that in Knoxville last year. Can't remember exactly what the conditions were like. Maybe it was a much cooler, damper night, which didn't allow for that outside to really come into play. It definitely seems very dry as far as the track conditions go early on. And even though the inside lane was very much preferred through the heat races, it looks like at the get-go, the outside is the preferred lane right now at the beginning of this race. Hocevar's race truck really yawed out compared to the 99 truck behind him I wonder how much of a factor that may help or not help the 42 of Hocevar, considering, again, these are not purpose-built dirt trucks. But maybe the looser setup is something that's been helping Hocevar all weekend. He's been fast in practice, but not as fast as Ben Rhodes, who was in fact fastest in one of the 2 practice sessions last night. Rhodes closed back in on Hocevar that last lap into turns 3 and 4. He backs up the entry into the corner, trying to get a little bit better exit, and Hocevar is going to gap him again. Just by a couple truck lengths, about half a second lead at the start-finish line right now. Lap 14 of 40 in stage 1 and 14 of 150 total in today's race. Carson Hocevar is the race leader by 1.3 seconds over Ben Rhodes. Stuart Friesen is in 3rd place right now, 1.5 seconds off the lead. John Hunter Nemechek is in 4th, and Ty Majeski rounds out the top 5. Friesen to the inside of Ben Rhodes, as Rhodes is immediately losing the 42 of Hocevar. Not going to be able to get around him that time, and he'll again have to fall in line behind him. If you miss that pass attempt to the inside, it really takes a lap or 2 to have another run at it again, and you could be at danger of potentially losing a spot to the truck behind you if you fail to make that pass attempt too many times, and maybe even the first time, depending on how much momentum you lose. As Friesen and Rhodes battle hard right now for 2nd place, it is allowing John Hunter Nemechek to close in, and we have a 3-truck battle for 2nd as Hocevar is going out to nearly a 2-second race lead. Nemechek with a much better drive off of the exit of the corner than Friesen on the outside. Friesen again went to the bottom, Rhodes went to the outside. Friesen just trying to catch as much, not really clean air, but just trying to run a different line to potentially get to the inside of him, and it just didn't quite happen. First commercial break of the night, so that means we'll take our first full field look at the running order as we're on lap 17 of 40 in stage 1, almost halfway. Again, just one caution back at lap 3 off a spin from Dean Thompson in the 40, off the 98 of Christian Eckes in the middle of the field. Everybody else was able to miss him. Hocevar's led every lap from the start of the race so far and has a 2-second lead over Ben Rhodes, who still hangs on to 2nd place. Stuart Friesen's in 3rd, John Hunter Nemechek 4th, and the only Cup regular in the field tonight, Ty Gillen, rounds out the top 5. Ty Majeski in 6th, Chandler Smith 7th, Derek Kraus 8th, Buddy Cofield back to 9th, and Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 10. Tanner Gray in 11th, Brett Moffitt 12th, Zane Smith 13th, Matt DiBenedetto 14th, and Matt Crafton in 15th. Haley Deegan all the way back to 16th. Tyler Ankrum has fallen back to 17th. Christian Eckes 18th. 19th is Jessica Friesen, and Kaz Gralla rounds out the top 20. Colby Howard in 21st. Bryson Mitchell 22nd. Chase Purdy 23rd. 24th is Tyler Carpenter, and Jack Wood 25th. Timmy Hill 26th. Dylan Westbrook 27th. Blaine Perkins 28th. Lawless Allen 29th. And Chris Wright is in 30th. 31st place is Thad Moffitt. Devin Rose in 32nd. Joey Gase 33rd. Spencer Boyd 34th. 35th is Brayton Laster, and Dean Thompson a couple laps down before getting back onto the track after stalling out on pit road after his spin had to come down to change that left rear tire that was flat, and he ended up coming back on the track for the restart 2 laps down. Brayton Laster, Spencer Boyd, Joey Gase are also 1 lap down as the leaders are already getting into lap traffic early in this race. Half-mile short track, definitely. With being short, there's going to be quite a bit of lap traffic if we get long enough green flag runs tonight. Not even a long green flag run at the start of the race, and already Hocevar, Friesen, and the rest of the leaders dealing with the lap trucks. Under the commercial break, it looks like Nemechek has made a pass on Ben Rhodes for 3rd place. And Rhodes starting to go backwards after challenging initially on the restart for the lead with Hocevar. Knoxville is just like Eldora, somewhat similar. There's more banking progressively at Eldora than what Knoxville has. Knoxville's a little bit flatter. That's why you saw with the moisture conditions last year why it was such a bottom feeder of a race. Knoxville, they were riding right up on the cushion pretty much by the end of the night. Kind of similar to what you saw at Bristol over long green flag runs, only not even long green flag runs tonight at Knoxville. Everybody's already gravitating towards the outside. Passing lane seems available on the inside, but it is not going to be easy. Guess Stuart Friesen's roof camera broke from clump of mud caking onto it and cracking the camera lens. 15 laps to go in stage 1 as Fox is back from the commercial break. Hocevar still has a 1.7 second lead over Stuart Friesen in second, but Friesen is running a little bit quicker than Hocevar over the last couple laps and is actually starting to close quickly. And some of that may actually be because of the lap traffic Hocevar could be dealing with as well. 3 wide towards the back of the pack right now. Dean Thompson, Ben Rhodes, side by side. Derek Kraus, who started on the pole right in the middle, nearly 4 wide in the middle of turns 1 and 2 as Rhodes tries to sandwich himself between the lap trucks to stay in front of his teammate Ty Majeski. He just lost a spot to Kraus, getting stuck in line on the outside behind a couple of those trucks. So that's one thing. The preferred lane's the outside, but it seems like all the lap trucks are staying on the outside, and the leaders are having to pass the trucks down on the bottom, a lane where it is not preferred, and that could definitely create a lot more passing opportunities. A lot of mud and dirt caked up onto the windshield right now, the 99, or not the windshield, but the grill of the 99 of Ben Rhodes, and he's having a little bit of an overheating issue going on right now. Todd Gilliland was also able to get up to 4th, passing Ben Rhodes a few laps ago also. Friesen now down to only 1.3 seconds off the lead from Hocevar. 12 more laps to try and get him for the Stage 1 victory. Still a lot of water spewing out of the 99 of Rhodes, and I think he's just going to try to run it until it does not run any longer, with the stage end coming very, very shortly. Little contact down on the bottom near the berm between the 44 and the 43. A couple lap trucks right now battling for position, and nearly saw a spin off of Chris Wright in the 44. While they get together, Wright's teammate Hocevar continues to lead and has led every lap so far, but Stuart Friesen is the fastest truck on the racetrack right now. I don't believe that damaged splitter is definitely affecting the 42's handling or speed right now. Hocevar is taking off from the get-go. A few runner-up finishes already this season, well, in his Truck Series career, a couple this season for Carson Hocevar. Was also leading late at Charlotte a few races ago before a caution came out late, given an overtime finish in which he ran maybe a little bit over aggressively, could not hang on to his race truck. Caution is out meanwhile between Tanner Gray and the 12 truck of, not sure who's in the 12 tonight. Spencer Boyd's in the 12. So Spencer Boyd and Tanner Gray get together. That'll bring out caution number 2 with 10 laps to go in stage 1. They should get another restart in before the end of the stage. There's only going to be a few laps to go, so this should be a pretty wild and chaotic restart. They usually are anyway, but usually when you get later in the stages or later in the race, that's when they really ramp up. 3 wide getting into turn 1 where the contact was made. And actually it looked like Beaufoy in the 51 squeezed the 15 truck of Gray, who was already underneath him. And when Gray was sitting in the middle of the corner parked, pretty while after Gray was already stalled out, Spencer Boyd had lost control and slid right into the side of him. Ben Rhodes on pit road right now, going to try to clean up the grill of the 99 truck. Do whatever they can to try to keep those engine temperatures and oil temperatures down to keep the truck from wanting to overheat. He's definitely going to lose a lot of his track position. He was running in 6th place prior to the pit stop. And we'll see if they can get that cooled down quickly. Now, there is a stage end coming, so if they do fall a lap down, they could end up taking the wave around by not pitting during the stage break to get back on the lead lap. So they have a lap basically to give up right now. Rod G, welcome to the stream. Just send it. Yeah, there you go. Yep, and happy early Father's Day to anybody else out there. Any dads watching the stream, or maybe those of you that aren't dads, you can wish your father and grandfathers happy Father's Day this weekend as well. he'll get a win eventually. I'm assuming you're referring to Hocevar. I'm sure he will eventually. Maybe tonight's the night. You never know. He's off to a good start. Friesen looks really good on the long runs. But again, with no choose cone rule, assuming that Hocevar will elect the outside on the restart again, Stuart Friesen will be on the inside. He did not take off well and actually got passed by the truck who actually restarted in fourth or second on the outside lane, which was Ben Rose. He took time to get back around Rhodes, and that's what gave Hocevar that 2-second gap. Friesen was slowly closing in, got to within about a second before that caution came out with 10 to go in the stage. If he can get a better launch this time and not lose second place, maybe he'll have a shot, but there's only going to be a few laps to go by the time they go green. Your top 10 so far in stage 1 with just 7 laps to go in the stage under caution currently. For the second yellow of the night, Carson Hocevar leads. Stuart Friesen in second, John Hunter Nemechek in third, Todd Gill in fourth, and Derek Kraus rounds out the top 5. Ty Majeski in 6th, Chandler Smith 7th, Grant Enfinger 8th, Buddy Kofoid in 9th, and Brett Moffitt rounds out the top 10 in the 22 truck. Over 50 people watching right now. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, live race commentary for the real races on the race weekends for NASCAR. No Cup Series live stream this week because the Cup Series has got their only off weekend of the year, but we'll pick the Cup Series live commentary back up again next week at Nashville. That race will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday evening. And maybe I could get a Truck Series potential live stream in on that Friday night. Not guaranteeing anything, but it is possible. I will be busy Saturday next week, so I know for a fact I won't be able to do the Xfinity Series commentary. Actually, a very good chance I'll be actually going to a local dirt track race later that night. So I might have some interesting stuff to give you guys on the channel next weekend outside of the live race commentary. Bring my camera with me. I'm actually going, first and foremost, I don't think I've stated this on the channel yet, but my grandpa's actually getting inducted into our local Dirt Tracks Hall of Fame this weekend, so that's part of the main reason why I'm going, but I'm going to stay for the race later that night. I guess they're hosting the banquet or whatever, the ceremony earlier in the day at the track, and then later that night they're supposed to have a local show. But probably going to be able to get some pretty good access, I'd have to imagine, for that. Coincidentally, Dale Blaney's actually going into the Hall of Fame at that track, too. And for those of you that are wondering, that is Ryan Blaney's uncle. So my grandpa getting inducted the same night as him. So that's pretty cool. And, of course, also for those of you that don't know, I'm a Ryan Blaney fan. The reason why is because when I grew up going to my local dirt track as a kid, Dale Blaney, he was always racing. For whatever reason, he was my favorite driver. Grew up a large portion of my childhood. He was racing this big red number 2 car. Always liked it, and he was always my favorite. That I knew of his brother Dave being in NASCAR at the time, so I always rooted for Dale for that reason also. And now Ryan's in NASCAR, so it's come full circle. Have to be a Ryan Blaney fan, and it's kind of cool that my grandpa's going in the Hall of Fame the same time as him. It's a real full circle kind of a situation going on this weekend. Next weekend, sorry, not this weekend. Obviously, it's not this weekend because I'm here with you guys right now. But that's next Saturday. So, should have quite a bit of content on the channel. By the way, my vlog will be out this weekend from St. Louis a couple weeks ago as well. I know a couple people have been asking when that's going to get out. I have to work 40 hours a week during the week as well. So when I got back, I think I've only had 2 days off since which was last weekend, and I had my phone incident, so I was like, yeah, I should be able to finish the editing this weekend, and then my phone got stolen, and I couldn't even live stream the race on Sunday, unfortunately. So I should get that done this weekend. 3 laps to go right now at stage 1. They have burned through quite a few caution laps. We'll see if they get the green flag. I didn't think there was that much debris. The caution initially came out with 10 laps to go in the stage. So they have ran 7 laps under the caution so far. Now it is only a half-mile short track, so 7 laps isn't really all that long. But still, I would have imagined that they were going to be able to get a restart with at least a few more laps than this left in the stage. They'll be getting the 1-to-go signal this time by, so they're only going to have a 1-lap green-white checker finish to the end of stage 1. Carson Hocevar, as he did last restart, will elect the outside lane. Stuart Friesen will be underneath him on the front row. Row 2 on the inside will be John Hunter Nemechek, and Todd Gillen will be on the outside of row 2. Be the voice at the track. That job's already taken next weekend, so I can't take that job next weekend. That'd be cool if I could sit in, though, and just, I don't know, get some experience. I'll definitely be bringing my camera. Maybe a potential vlog coming up this weekend. Next weekend, sorry. I keep saying this weekend. Not tonight. Next weekend. About 40 to go in the main event, and the SRX race. Keep giving updates. All right. Yeah, Warriors won the NBA championship the other night. Wasn't it only in 5 games? All right. Pace truck is on pit road. Green flag back in the air. 1-lap shootout to decide the stage 1 victory. Hocevar gets a good launch on the outside lane. 3 wide a little bit further back towards the back half of the top 10. Hocevar easily going to be clear off the exit of turn 2. Side by side for second between the 17 and the 52. Friesen back to third place now. There's a 17 truck going to go wide, and the 52 goes even wider as he loses the front of the race car, overcorrecting at a little bit of a loose moment. And he's going to go all the way to the back now as trucks are trying to get around him back to the start-finish line. Carson Hocevar will win stage number 2. And I think Friesen might have had a flat tire because he is very slow, and that was the case. So a flat right rear tire on Stuart Friesen was the reason why he got way up out of the groove in turns 3 and 4 because he kept it off the wall, it looked. I'm not sure where he could have cut the tire at. I don't remember him making significant contact prior to the yellow, and I wonder if he maybe ran over a piece of debris during the caution period. So a crazy moment for Friesen. He was in second on the restart. Blew a right rear tire going into 3 and 4 in the final lap of the stage. Kept it off the wall, but now he's going to be at the back of the field. But again, Carson Hocevar got the good launch, cleared Friesen off 2 anyway on the restart, and was able to hold on through 3 and 4, especially with Friesen's flat tire. Todd Gillen snuck into second place at the end of stage number 2. John Hunter Nemechek finished, stage 1. John Hunter Nemechek finished stage 1 and 3rd. Derek Kraus 4th, and Ty Majeski rounded out the top 5 in the opening stage. Grant Enfinger in 6th, Chandler Smith 7th, Brett Moffitt 8th, Matt DiBenedetto 9th, and Zane Smith will all get stage points in the opening stage of tonight's race. Hocevar has led all 40 laps so far, and we will be seeing pit stops for the first time tonight. A little bit of a break. No live pit stops tonight, but you can pick to stay out or to pit. I'd imagine a lot of the leaders are going to be pitting for fuel for their only time right now, and then likely staying out at the end of stage 2 if I had to guess. We'll see maybe some bubble drivers in the point standings like Matt Crafton and others potentially stay out of the pits to try and get some stage points. Derek Kraus potentially as well, even though he is in 4th anyway. I'm not going to be able to live stream that local dirt race this weekend. I'm not going to have, I can almost guarantee I'm not going to have good enough internet access. It'd be cool if I could live stream it, but I haven't been there in a while. This will actually be the first local dirt race I've gone to since, I want to say 2017, because I started going to NASCAR races in person in 2018. The first race I ever went to was 2015, but I know for a fact that I still went to some races the next couple of years because I didn't travel to any NASCAR races until 2018. So yeah, I mean, 2017, 5 years since I've been to a local dirt race. So it'll be kind of cool going back again. I kind of figured I was going to be able to do that this year at some point in time. I didn't know my grandpa was going to get inducted into the local track Hall of Fame this year, or at all by his accounts. He was kind of caught off guard by it. I've known about it for a couple months now, but I want to say 2 months ago he got the call. 2 or 3 months ago. Forget how fun they are. Yeah, you always have a good time at the racetrack. Doesn't matter what you're watching. It could be figure eight school bus races, and you'll probably still have a fun time. This is at least competitive racing this weekend, which is obviously what I like and prefer more. 60 people watching right now. We're at the stage 1 break after Carson Hocevar has led all 40 laps so far today from the second starting position. Derek Krause started on the pole, finished 4th at the end of the stage. And Stuart Friesen, who had one of the fastest trucks in the field, got up to second place, but that final green-white checker restart on a one-lap shootout at the end of stage 1 had a flat right rear tire. Now the good news is, because it was the last lap of the stage, at least he is going to be on the lead lap still. By the way, Chase Purdy got the free pass during the caution at lap 30, and then during the stage break, I believe it'll be Dylan Westbrook getting the free pass at the rear of the field. Kudos to Carson for stage 1 winner. Yep. Used to go to Bowman Gray. It's a cool track. I've heard a lot of great things about Bowman Gray. We get to hear from the pit reporters on Fox tonight during these pit stops. Usually I let you guys listen to that during the live pit stops, because there is no live stops today. The only pit stops will be during the stage breaks. And this is one of them right now. 40 laps were in stage 1 that have concluded. Caution laps during the stage break itself will not count. The other caution laps will count. And you can hear some teams going to work right now. I don't think they've started yet. Just like the Xfinity Series race at Portland a couple weeks ago, it'll be a 3-minute break. Still waiting on Stuart Friesen to limp his way back to his pit stall on that flat right rear tire. It doesn't look like they're going to have issues trying to jack the truck up, and now the clock is on and the teams will go to work changing tires. They can only make minor adjustments to the race trucks, similar to what you would see during a live stop anyway. Some wedge chassis adjustments, potentially track bar adjustments. Richard Childress had his first job at Bowman Gray. I did not know that.
Door of his truck. Kind of surprising, because he's been out front for most of this race, but that's the nature of dirt racing out here. Either way, he said he was struggling a little bit on turn 3 earlier in the race, but he said as things went along, he got much better. He's been happy with the truck. He said he just needs a little more side bite. Otherwise, he's been good. They just need to change those tires and fix the damage on the left side of that truck, Heather.
And for Todd Gilliland, he's saying right now that his truck is just too tight to run the top of the racetrack. And when I spoke to him earlier today, he said, you know, I love racing dirt, but I don't really know what to do when it comes to what line to run. So I'm kind of going to watch what others are doing and also rely on my spotter and my dad to tell me where to go. He said, guys, just tell me where to go and I will do it. He just also asked the team right here, he couldn't find his Swiffer. As you can see, he got it in his hand. Somebody had to actually climb in the truck and get it for him there. But they did make a slight chassis adjustment on that 17, so we'll see if it helps him out. Josh?
Heather, those Swiffers are so crucial for these guys out here in the dirt. As you see Derek Krause doing the same thing, he's got the Swiffer in his hand as well. Now for him, he said the balance has been good with that truck all night long. He feels he's 10 times better on the bottom line than the trucks that have been around him. Finished 4th in that first stage. He's been really happy with that truck. We know he started this race on the pole. He won the first 2 stages here last year and finished 5th. He's been strong on the dirt. He said the biggest thing for him, make sure that grill is clean. make sure that grill is clean. He kept repeating that to his team, and as you see, they're going to work on that right now, Heather.
And John Hunter Nemechek right now just saying he needs a little bit more forward drive. The track is getting slicker right now, and it's a challenge for him to keep it under him. But also in the heat race, he did have a little bit of a gremlin that struck up. That car, or that race truck, wouldn't fire under power, so he was actually driving around the track and it was shutting off on him. They looked over the truck between the heat races and this main event, and they checked everything multiple times and couldn't find anything, so they decided instead of going to the rear of the field to try to make their way up through, they would try to deal with it here at the stage break. But so far, he has had 0 issues with that gremlin that was chasing him there in that heat race. Jamie?
Thank you, Heather.
Trucks are starting to fire up again. About 15 seconds left on the stage 1 break clock. The grill is cleared off of the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Remember, they had an issue and had to drop to the back at one point during that caution at lap 30 because the truck was starting to overheat. They had so much dirt caked up into the radiator and into the grill, affecting the airflow to the engine. He was able to stay on the... never mind, actually, he did go a lap down. I would imagine he probably will get the wave around, I'd have to imagine. Unless he pits for fuel or tires. Which if he did, then he'll still be a lap down to start this second stage. And will have to race his way into the free pass position before the next caution or the end of stage 2, whatever would come first. Our goal tonight is going to be 100 likes on the channel. That's asking maybe for a lot on the Truck Series live streams, but I think we can do it tonight. We've got over 60 people watching already at one point in time in tonight's live stream, and currently at 22 likes. So hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you are new for more daily NASCAR content. Road to 3,000 subs, but also, of course, on the road to becoming a NASCAR commentator for real races down the line. 22 trucks on the lead lap of the 36 who started the race today. Nobody is out of the race. A couple drivers who have quite a bit of damage that fell a few laps down include Spencer Boyd, 4 down, and Dean Thompson's a couple laps down as well. Was involved in that first accident. We've had 3 cautions total today. If you count the stage break, 2 cautions for incident. We had 12 last season. I kind of figured when we had that yellow at lap 3 for Hocevar, but for Dean Thompson in the 40, Hocevar's teammate, one of them. I just kind of had a feeling that we were probably going to be due for another double-digit caution counter for the Truck Series this season. Seth Thomas, welcome to the stream, by the way. I see you in the chat as well. Final lap in the SRX series. Who's going to take it? Joshua Michael Brown, welcome to the stream. Pulling for Haley Deegan tonight. She won her heat race earlier today. It was 14th at the end of stage 1. Started in 8th. Both the accidents we've seen today have been mid-pack, though, so that's definitely the danger zone, and usually is. Especially in the tight confines of stock car racing. Castroneves won, all right. Is he running for points full-time this year in SRX? I don't know who's running full-time in that series and who's running part-time. I can remember a lot of drivers being named that were racing, but I know some of them are only running a couple races. Like Dave Blaney's only running the 1 race, I believe. I think Ken Schrader's only running like 1 race. The USFL has playoffs? Do they even have enough teams for that? How many teams do they have? I thought they only had like 8 teams. I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched a USFL game. I think that might be a good thing to say, though. Sounds like they're actually replacing the camera on Stuart Friesen's race truck that busted. There's something very unique with these non-live pit stops that Fox was able to at least do that. Elio going to win Mid-Ohio. Yep, IndyCar is racing at Mid-Ohio in a couple weeks. I will also be there for that. I think that's the following week. So next weekend I'll go to a local dirt race. And then I'll go to the IndyCar Mid-Ohio race the week after that, which is the weekend of the 4th. And then the weekend after that, the Truck Series goes to Mid-Ohio. So not going to any Cup races until Michigan in August, but I'll be going to at least 3 some sort of races over the next couple weeks. So still on the road, even if I'm traveling within state. And within an hour and a half at the most. It's the furthest I have to drive to my race destinations the next few weeks, so that'll be nice. I didn't realize that Brett Moffitt was from the state of Iowa. A little hometown race for him tonight. He's passed more trucks than any other truck in the field right now to get up to that 8th place position. Comment in the chat if you think Carson Hocevar is going to win tonight's race. Again, he's led all 40 laps so far, despite not starting on the pole. Tony switched his number this year to 14. He wasn't in the 14 last season? That's surprising. I don't think I've... No, I did watch one SRX race last year. Which one did I watch? I think I watched the Nashville race. I watched it at Buffalo Wild Wings when I was in Nashville. Oh, no, they weren't at Nashville. Where were they at? It was the weekend of the Nashville Cup race. I think they were at Knoxville. They might have been at Knoxville. It was a dirt race of some sort they were at. But I remember watching it at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Nashville when I was there for the NASCAR race last year. That was the only race I saw from start to finish. From start to finish. Anything else, I was just watching the highlights on YouTube. I do want to go to one of those races this year. They race at Sheridan Speedway, which is only like 2.5 hours from where I live. And both Ryan Blaney and Dave Blaney are supposed to race that race. I think Chase Elliott's supposed to run that race too, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's Bill Elliott. One of the two is supposed to run that race. Maybe both. Who knows? Elliott will win Mid-Ohio unless he crashes and Joseph capitalizes and wins. Just got back. Why is there a red flag? Because there's no live pit stops. End of stage 1. I'm surprised they're still not back to caution yet. And that's actually because there's a tractor picking up clumps of mud on the racetrack right now. Never mind. You're only in dirt racing. You see John Deere's on the racetrack. If that doesn't scream America, I don't know what does. Keith Schneider will win. I will win the stream. Because we will get our goal of 100 likes tonight. I have a feeling we will. We're almost a third of the way there. We're only about a third of the way through the race. I think we have a shot. Car was orange. This year is red. Oh, he was in the 20 last year. I did not know that. Reminds me of IROC. That's what a lot of fans have been saying that watched IROC back in the day. I think that's the most accurate representation. The only difference is that these guys are on short tracks, primarily, whether it's dirt or asphalt. IROC raced intermediates quite a bit. I think they raced at Daytona once a year too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But I thought they ran at Daytona once in their season, but they ran a lot of intermediate racetracks, so mile and halves. But I also like what SRX is doing. I'm gonna marry Haley Deegan. That's one of the out of the ordinary comment in the chat of the night is that one right there. I was not expecting to see that in tonight's stream. Yeah, I don't think I hate to burst your bubble there, Derek, but I don't think that's gonna happen. No one got your movie joke? I didn't see your comment. Never feed gremlins after midnight. Why do you say that? Oh. Hang on. I don't know what that was in reference to. I mean, obviously I know it's in reference to the movie Gremlins, but I don't know what you said it after. I honestly missed your comment. Short Track News, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I do know Tony Stewart won the championship last year. And I did not know he won the last championship for IROC, too. Interesting. Let's go, Brandon. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, welcome for everybody tuning in right now. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Live race commentary of tonight's Clean Harbors 150 at the Knoxville Raceway, live on KRC. Stage 2 is about to begin following our Stage 1 break. They had 3 minutes to make adjustments to their race trucks. A little extra time to maintain and get this racetrack prepped up and ready to go for stage number 2. I'd imagine they watered the track down quite a bit. It was a little bit of a dust bowl to start things off from the drop of the green flag compared to what it was in the heat races earlier. Now, obviously, in the heat races, there were a lot less cars on the track at one point in time. They only had 9 and 10 trucks in their heats versus a full 36 truck field, and there's still all 36 trucks in this race. They were saying something about Gremlin under the race. Oh, I didn't even... I'm listening to the commentary of the race in my ear, but because I'm doing my own commentary, it's... Really, the only time I'm like really listening to something is if they're talking about some issues that somebody may be having, and I'll pick up on that and I'll give that to you guys and relay you the message. But all the commentary is authentic, and it's actually like 10 seconds behind what I'm actually seeing in my ear as well. So that way I have a natural reaction and a natural race call still. If we get any driver interviews during the stage break, you guys will get to listen. They tried to radio in Ben Rhodes at the very start of the race today, and they couldn't get a hold of him, so we'll see if they can get a hold of somebody here. Maybe Carson Hocevar, means he won stage 1. Been a NASCAR fan since '93. No regrets. There you go. I haven't been on this planet that long enough, but otherwise I'd be right there with you. Since I can remember, I couldn't tell you what year I started watching NASCAR. I was probably watching right from the womb. Like, I would not be surprised if I was born and there was like a race on on the TV or something. That seems like that could have happened. Actually, never mind. I think I was born at like 2:30 in the morning, so I guess that wouldn't have happened. Maybe there was a replay of the race on later that night on Speed Channel or something. Sure, they aired those on Speed Channel back in 1999, maybe. ESPN Classics. The 1-to-go signal was given that last time by the starter stand, and the pace truck is working his way into turns 3 and 4 now. Will pull off the racetrack. Carson Hocevar elects the outside lane as he did the last couple restarts in stage number 2. Everybody pretty much hit pit road to change tires, top off on fuel during the stage breaks, so the leaders you saw at the end of stage 1 will be the leaders to start stage 2. Green flag in the air. Hocevar gets a great jump on the outside, will easily clear the 17 truck well before getting into turn 1, and he'll easily have the lead down the backstretch with Derek Kraus moving from 4th to 2nd around the 17 truck of Gilliland as well. Gillen will slide up into the outside lane in front of the 23 truck now at Grant Enfinger. Moffitt gains a few positions from 8th to 5th on the restart and is looking potentially to the outside of the Ford truck of John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek went to the bottom to try and simultaneously make the pass on the 23 of Enfinger, failed to do so, and Moffitt is right there now on the outside of the 4 off the exit of turn 2, a lap and a half following the restart. Moffitt will keep the momentum up. He'll be able to clear Nemechek. Nemechek will hop in line on the outside right in front of the 38 of Zane Smith. And now a dive to the bottom behind Zane Smith goes the 66 of Ty Majeski. Smith all over the back bumper right now with the Ford truck of Nemechek. Kept it clean, did not actually get into him, but wants the Ford truck to start to pick that momentum up a little bit more. Smith going to maybe a third lane towards the outside that time, trying to hop out of the way of the Ford truck. That didn't work out too well, and the 66 of Majeski was able to clear him. Those 3 trucks are battling for 6th on the racetrack right now. Make that 7th. No, I did have it right. They are battling for 6th place. So the leaderboard got all wonky there for a second. So again, 50 laps in this stage. This is a little bit longer by 10 laps on stage 1. And then the final stage will be 60 laps total. And that will be the longest of the 3 stages tonight. Hocevar's got about a half a second lead over pole sitter Derek Kraus. Kraus never contended for the lead initially, losing a few spots off the very start of the race, but sat pretty much right around 5th the entire stage and finished 4th after the flat tire to Friesen. Remember, Stuart Friesen had to restart at the rear end of the lead lap after having that blown right rear tire on the final lap of the stage. He is up to 17th already following the restart. Ben Rhodes is actually shown 2 laps down right now, not 1 lap down. That's going to be tough for him to get back into this. Hocevar's led now the first 46 completed laps of the race, but Derek Kraus has closed that gap, and he's within about a half a truck length behind the 42 of Hocevar on the back straightaway, working their way into turns 3 and 4. Kraus may be running just a tad bit higher than Hocevar. Not much, primarily the same lane, but just a bit higher, and that might be all the difference that Kraus has in just being that much better than the 42, especially on corner exit. And it does seem like Kraus may be even a little bit better through 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. Hocevar struggled in lap traffic in the long green flag run before that second caution of the race back at lap 30, and he had a 2-second gap over Friesen to slowly give up before the caution eventually came out before the end of the stage. Hocevar doesn't have that big of a gap to work with right now. Kraus is right there, and now Todd Gillen in 3rd place, and the 17 truck is also closing and was within a second of Hocevar that last time by at the start-finish line. And the lap trucks on the bottom right now, most of them were kind of moving chicanes around the track, some around the top, most of them really around the top, but some on the bottom. Saw 3 and 4 wide racing in the middle of the pack, inside the top 5 and top 10 earlier today through lap traffic, and I'm sure we'll continue to see that throughout the course of the race tonight. Derek Kraus still not that far behind Hocevar, but Gillen might be the faster of the three trucks at the front of the field as he has worked his way to the back bumper of Kraus, and off the exit of turn 4 is right on his rear bumper. Going to back up the corner entry into turns 1 and 2 now. It's going to be tough to get underneath them with the lap trucks down on the bottom, so it's going to be interesting to see how the 17 truck's going to try to pass the 19. 3 trucks under a blanket, all within a half a second in the lead, battling at Knoxville a third of the way through tonight's race. 11 laps completed, stage 2. Our top 10 runs like this. Carson Hocevar is the race leader by 0.6 of a second over Derek Kraus. Todd Gillen is in third, 1.2 seconds off the lead. Brett Moffitt is in fourth place right now, 2.6 seconds off the lead. And Jonathan Nemechek is 5.7 seconds off the lead in fifth. 5.9 seconds off the lead is Grant Enfinger in 6th place. 6.7 seconds back is Ty Majeski in 7th. St. Smith is 7.3 seconds back of Carson Hocevar in 8th. Matt Crafton in 9th, 8.3 seconds off the lead. And Haley Deegan rounds out the top 10 at 11.8 seconds back of Hocevar, who hangs on out in front of the field. Gillen had a little bit of a slip up that last lap and now is 1.2 seconds off the lead. Hocevar maybe getting through the lap traffic just a little bit better than the 2 trucks directly behind him. And if they battle more for second, that could also allow Hocevar to get away as well. That was another reason why he got out to a big lead at stage 1. There was a 3-truck battle earlier in the race between Friesen, Nemechek, and if I remember correctly, I believe it was Gillen who was up there battling with those guys in those opening laps. It does seem like the 17 truck is the lowest of the top 3 in the middle of the corner, kind of running more of a middle lane. Now he dives all the way to the bottom into 3 and 4. He's going to get underneath the 19 of Derek Kraus, and he may complete the pass off the exit of turn 4. There's the slide job. He's clear. Perfect move by Gillen. He's up to P2. And he's got a run now on Carson Hocevar as well, as we have a 3-truck battle for the lead. Fox going side by side with their commercial break, so we'll keep the live commentary going. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Speed Channel was actually called Speed Vision back then. Okay. I didn't know that was the same channel. I thought that was like something... I thought that was like a show on Speed Channel. I guess that makes a little bit of sense. Run for the 17 truck, looks to the inside of Hocevar through turns 3 and 4. Heavy double wide lap traffic in front, and we have a caution at lap 17 in stage 2. The 62 truck of Jessica Friesen is stuck on the burn of the racetrack. That dirt banking on the inside to keep the trucks away from that inside retaining wall and keep them up on the racing groove. It looked like she may have gotten either turned in that situation or maybe through a bad block like we saw Dean Thompson had earlier. We'll have to wait and see for the replay of exactly what happened when Fox goes back full screen. But caution's out for the 4th time today. Jessica Friesen in the 62. Now her truck is stuck on the burn right now. The front tires are up on the top of it, and the rear tires are on the actual racing groove on the inside line right now, so I'm not sure exactly how she got into that predicament. Quite a bit of damage to the splitter of the race truck as well. It's going to be interesting to see how they get her down from there. This could be a lengthy caution. I don't think they'll throw the red flag. They're going to probably take their time trying to make sure they don't damage the 62, and this is going to cost Friesen probably a few laps as well. 52 slowly coming back up. Yeah, Friesen's back in the top 10 right before that caution came out. He looked to be the fastest truck in the field before the second caution came out at lap 30. But his wife's got some sort of an issue right now. About to see a replay, I'd have to imagine. So they've hooked a tow truck to pretty much under the hood of the 62 of Friesen, trying to get her off the burn. It looks like they're trying to back her back onto the racetrack. She had dropped the window net down to tell them not to hook it up from the inside, that she feels that she could continue. But also the NASCAR rules state that if you drop the window net, that you're going to have to get it resecured, kind of like we saw with Blaney in the All-Star race a couple weeks ago. So a little miscommunications right now with the track officials and Jessica Friesen and how they're going to try to get that 62 truck off the burn on the inside of, I believe it's in turns 3 and 4. Now they've gotten her up off the burn. They're slowly dropping the truck back down onto the actual racing surface, and they're going to begin to try and unhook their way off the 62. But she has already fallen a few laps down, and it's going to take her out of a chance at a good finish, I'd have to assume. Yellow for Stuart Friesen's honey bun. That's one way to reference her. Watch NASCAR on TBS. And Turner Sports broadcasted some races. It was mostly TNT back in the day. In the mid-2000s. They'd occasionally have some Busch Series races on TBS, though. It's all Turner Sports. I always wonder why that wasn't one of the main networks that was wanting to get back into NASCAR. There's all the talk about, potentially newer with the TV deal essentially coming to an end in 2025 with newer providers wanting in on getting some NASCAR scheduling onto their telecasts. Obviously, Fox NBC currently aired, so they'd probably be in the running, but then there's been talks about ESPN and CBS, but I haven't heard anything about Turner Sports, who had hosted a lot of races on TNT, really from when NASCAR first came back to NBC in the early 2000s. In 2001, they would air their cable races on TNT. Then even after NBC stopped airing races, they still had a 6-race summer series stretch where they had 6 cup races on TNT after Fox had gone off there pretty much about this time of the year from early June to the end of July. But since, 2013 I think was the last year they did that? Maybe 2014? I think 2014 would have been the last year they had it on TNT because that would have been the last TV deal before it was only Fox and NBC in 2015, if I have my years lined up right. So it's been 8 years since Turner Sports has had NASCAR, but I wonder if, maybe they hop in. Maybe they only get 6 races again. Maybe they go for like a dozen. Split the race, maybe split into thirds. Get a third of the schedule. Jacob NASCAR, welcome to the stream. What y'all think of SRX season debut? I did not watch the race, but from what you guys said in the chat, for those of you that watched it seemed like you enjoyed it. Saw Helio Castroneves won. Keeping his SRX hot streak alive. Didn't he win a couple races last year, too? All right, I know he ran well in a lot of the races last season. I think is he running for points this year in the SRX series? Also comment that down below in the chat. Also, hit the like button and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Over 70 people watching right now. We're in the middle of the race. Middle of stage 2 following Jessica Friesen's spin. Still haven't seen a replay of how the spin happened. And why exactly she ended up getting stuck on the burn, or how exactly she got stuck on the burn in turns 3 and 4. But despite not seeing a replay, it looks like they'll be getting the one to go signal this time by. We'll be exactly halfway through stage number 2 when they go green next time by. Hocevar will be on the outside again for the restart. No surprise there. Hocevar has still led every lap in the race today. Gilliland, remember, moved to second right in front of Kraus a couple laps before the caution, and then was going to make a move to the bottom underneath Hocevar before the yellow came out. Not far in front of the leaders. Tim Brown. A Maniac NASCAR Fan Productions, welcome to the stream. 62 flip. No, she did not flip. She got stuck with the front tires up on the burn and the rear tires, but I doubt she flipped. The truck did not look like it flipped. Green flag going to be back in the air for Hocevar as he'll lead the field to the green. A pretty good launch on the restart by the 17 truck. Better than what we've seen most trucks on the inside so far tonight. Hocevar moves up in the middle lane just a little bit, and there may be a shot for the 17 of Gilliland down low to take the lead. Moffitt, who's in third place, right behind both of them. Big slide job incoming from the 17 of Gilliland. Can he hang on to it? Yes, he will. New leader for the first time today, Todd Gilliland, off of turn 4. 3 wide for second between Moffitt and Kraus. Hocevar got out of the gas, and I think he has an issue. Problem for Carson Hocevar. Caution is out as he has come to a stop. I wonder if he has a flat tire, maybe like Friesen had earlier in the race. Window net is down on Carson Hocevar's race truck. An issue with him. Said that the truck had blown up, so an engine issue for Derek Kraus. Or sorry, for Carson Hocevar. I don't know why I said Derek Kraus. Carson Hocevar has an engine issue immediately following the restart. I wonder if he might have missed a shift and it might have been a transmission issue. Because they were heading into turn 3 following the restart when the caution came out. Also had a hole in the splitter from hitting the burn in the heat race earlier. I don't know if any of that may have affected potential airflow, but he had led every lap in the race until blowing an engine now following the restart in the middle of stage 2. He hasn't gotten out of the race truck yet. Remember, he is driving injured with a fractured ankle or foot. Not sure exactly what the injury is, but got a fracture of some sort and is on crutches, so that might be what he's waiting for right now. Another tough break for Hocevar, and he is not going to get a good finish in this race. He is going to be the first driver to DNF and is likely going to end up with a last place finish. He did score stage points winning stage 1, so he got a playoff point if he does qualify for the playoffs, as well as 10 stage points. He came in 87 points to the good. So over 1 race worth of points ahead of the cutoff line coming into the race tonight. But not going to have a good points day, and it's going to be a big hit for him. Especially when you consider Kraus below the cutoff line and is running right there in second. May have a shot to win this on his fibia. He had surgery already? I didn't see exactly what the injury was. I know for the longest time I saw there was like no word on it. I was thinking it was like down like his ankle or his foot. Another another Nice truck having an issue right now. Tyler Carpenter in the 41 truck is in the pits with some sort of an issue. Simultaneously, along with Hocevar. Carpenter had a good run in his heat race earlier today and was running mid-pack during the race. Probably going to be getting an interview from Hocevar, I'd have to imagine, at some point in time here. And if we do, you guys will get to listen in on it. Lower leg, ankle foot. I mean, tibia isn't exactly ankle foot, but it is, I guess, like below the knee. So I guess you're right on the lower leg part of it. Hocevar climbing out of his race car right now. Daniel Swerves finished the race for him. Yeah, last week. Fortunately, an early exit today, but he's not going to be getting any points for a relief driver coming in, as the 42 truck is not going to be able to get back on the racetrack tonight. Field is getting lined up and ready to go for the next restart. 18 laps left in stage 2 and they go green. Todd Gillen was able to get to the lead after Hocevar had blown his engine off the restart. Derek Kraus will be on the inside of row 1. Row 2, John Hunter Nemechek on the outside and Brett Moffitt on the inside. Row number 3 is going to be Grant Enfinger on the inside, Zane Smith on the outside. Green flag going to be back in the air. Gillen had a good launch on the inside last time. Kraus did not get a good launch on the inside this time. And easily Gillen's going to be clear up off the exit of turn 2. Nemechek might have overdrove the entry to turn 1. He slid up maybe a bit too wide, and Kraus is still underneath him side by side for second into 3 and 4. Stuart Friesen working his way through the field, gets ran up the hill after contact from the 22 truck of Moffitt underneath him, and now they're 3 wide up off the exit of turn 4. Friesen able to motivate his way by Moffitt still, even after the contact that last corner. And takes a quick dive now to the inside of Kraus. Now Friesen's locked into the playoffs with a win already this season, but he may lock up his second win of the year, which is going to be crucial playoff points considering that a lot of drivers only have 1 win. The only driver with more than 1 win in the Truck Series season through 12 races is Zane Smith, who has 3. And even he's up to 3rd place now. So a Cup regular, and then the rest of the top 5, only Derek Kraus is the only Truck regular in the top 5 without a win this season. That is running there. The other 3 have 5 wins combined. And here's Carson Hocevar.
Things just seem to keep happening, unfortunately.
She done blew up. That's it. Like, I mean, I thought Sonoma was gonna be the hardest one to watch, and now this one's gonna be hard to watch. I'll probably just sit and think about it for a while, but I mean, we have spec motors, and if you have a bad one, you have a bad one. You don't know. You can't really test it. We don't got a lot of time to dyno them. So this sucks. It's one of the areas we can't control. We can't do anything. So but these guys did all they could. They built me a badass fast race truck. I mean, we were kicking everybody's butt for a while. Then we kind of made a little bit of bad adjustment that everybody kind of really got back to us. That it was going to be a fun race, but we're still in the ballpark for sure. 17 got pretty good there, but just spinning. This would be our luck.
Thanks, Carson. Guys.
Again, tough break for Hocevar, as he is the only driver out of the race today after a mechanical failure and an engine failure. I guess Tyler Carpenter, his teammate, is also out of the race with some sort of mechanical issue at the same time. He was a lap behind Hocevar when that had happened simultaneously. So I guess Hocevar won't finish last. He'll end up finishing 35th once Jessica Friesen, who is on the racetrack right now still after falling many, many laps down after her truck got stuck up on the burn, bringing out the last caution. 11 laps to go at stage 2 currently. Todd Gillen is the race leader. Zane Smith second. John Hunter Nemechek third. Brett Moffitt fourth. Stuart Friesen is in 5th. Derek Kraus 6th. Grant Enfinger 7th. Kaz Gralla up to 8th. Matt Kraft in 9th. Christian Eckes is 10th. Haley Deegan 11th. Ty Majeski 12th, Chandler Smith 13th, Tyler Ankrum 14th, Matt DiBenedetto is 15th, Buddy Kofoid in 16th, 17th is Tanner Gray, Colby Howard 18th, Dylan Westbrook 19th, and Jack Wood is 20th. Chase Purdy 21st, 22nd is Lawless Allen, Timmy Hill 23rd, Ben Rhodes 24th, Chris Wright 25th, 26th is Blaine Perkins, 27th is Joey Gase, Devin Rouse in 28th, Brayton Laster 29th, and D. Thompson is 30th. Bryson Mitchell 31st, 32nd Spencer Boyd, Thad Moffitt 33rd, Jessica Friesen 34th, and Hocevar and Tyler Carpenter 35th, 36th out of the race. 9 laps to go in stage 2. Again, Gilliland first, Zane Smith second, Nemechek third, Moffitt fourth, and Stuart Friesen fifth. 3.5 seconds is the lead between Gilliland and Zane Smith already. Just a few laps after the restart, Gilliland is gone. Now, Kraus obviously lost a few spots in the restart and fell back outside the top 5 despite restarting in the second place position. And we know Friesen's got a fast race truck and rocketed his way from the rear of the lead lap to 5th before the end of stage 2. The bunching of the field with a couple restarts we've had in this stage have definitely helped, but he's definitely going to be one to look out for at the end. The outside lane is preferred on the restarts. He is going to give up a spot to Derek Kraus here, but I think that could be in a benefit for Friesen as long as he doesn't lose another position. Maybe he can launch up to about 3rd or 4th on the following restart. We'll also have to wait and see what the track position strategy might play out to be. Again, you do not have to pit for fuel or tires to make it to the end on fuel in stage number 3. So will we see drivers stay out to try to get the track position? It's going to be a tough decision for the trucks at the front of the field on what they're going to decide to do. Now, in a strategy play in the only other dirt race in the Truck Series this season, Ben Rhodes had chose to to pit. He was one of the few drivers that pitted after stage 2 going into stage 3 after he had dominated and won the first 2 stages. Took all the way till the end of the race on a late race restart for him to get back to the lead, but he was able to get there. Had to get a couple cautions late to be able to do so. It's a little bit of a luck game, hoping that happens. I know it's a Truck Series and it's a dirt race, so you would think that it would happen, but there's no guarantees. It's a very risky gameplay, plus you're going to be in the middle of the back of the pack, in the eye of the storm, so to speak, as far as traffic and potential accidents, because again, all the incidents we have seen today have been mid-pack except for Hocevar blowing an engine on the restart, but that was a mechanical failure, and not like anybody hit him or hit the wall or anything. He was able to stay high out of the way in the middle of 3 and 4 when it took place. KS, welcome to the stream. Who should you bet on? If there are mid-race bets going on right now, Gilliland looks really fast, but Stuart Friesen also looks quick. Gilliland has the track position over Friesen, though, and Friesen's actually dropping back after this restart and has fallen to 8th. 2 laps to go in the stage. Gilliland is held up in lap traffic right now. He's all over the back of Lawless Allen, moving him up out of the way. He's 2 seconds ahead of Zane Smith. He doesn't really have to push that hard. Final lap of the stage now. And Lawless Allen was already a couple laps down, so I'm not exactly sure. Never mind, that was actually the first lap Allen lost, so no wonder he was battling hard. Trying to stay on the lead lap. He may be getting the free pass, though. Not sure if Jack Wood went a lap down or not. Before the end of the stage to Gilliland. Green-white checker flag in the air for the second time tonight. Todd Gilliland will win stage 2 at Knoxville. Zane Smith will finish in 2nd. John Hunter Nemechek 3rd. Brett Moffitt 4th. Derek Kraus rounds out the top 5. Grant Enfinger in 6th. Kaz Growler 7th. Stuart Friesen 8th. Matt Craft in 9th. And Tyler Ankrum rounds out the top 10. Those are the 10 trucks that will get points for stage 2 tonight at Knoxville. Dropped my phone and I accidentally kicked it further away from me. I had to get up for a second to get it. I don't know how I did that. The only Cup regular in the field tonight, Todd Gilliland, Although a rookie in the Cup Series. Looks to be one of the trucks to beat here tonight. Stacy Bowling, welcome to the stream. She thinks that John Hunter Nemechek's going to win. Ford truck. Zane Smith has definitely shown his talent this year. Could, it's your gold run at WWI in the Cup. Trying to think what you meant by WWI. What team is WWI? Why am I drawing a blank? Is that a typo of some sort, maybe? Terry Lewis also thinking Nemechek. He's ran good at Dirt Bristol the last couple of years. It's just had bad luck. Luck's been on his side so far tonight, at least consistently staying in the top 5 from the get-go. Worldwide Technology, WWT. I mean, he didn't have a bad run. It was all right. I don't think it was like outstanding by any means. Like, it wasn't like, wow, look at him finish. Where did he finish? Like 19th. Like it was his first race though, obviously, so there was no big pressure going in, I don't think. I do feel like it was a little overhyped with thinking that he maybe had like a great run. Yeah, I mean, he stayed out of trouble. He just did what was probably asked of him getting into the car. He probably wasn't expecting much and finished the race, finished on the lead lap. I mean, it's good, but I feel like a lot of people were acting as if he had like a top 10 run. That's kind of the consensus I got from other NASCAR YouTubers from what I was watching. Like, yeah, he had a really good run. And I was like, well, I mean, he was just kind of there, but he stayed out of trouble. We all fall to the autocorrect blunder, though. Your pick was Hocevar. Yeah, this is definitely a tough break for the 42 team on points. Even when you look at Derek Kraus coming in 39 points below the cutoff line, Matt Crafton scored 2 stage points total tonight. Both were in stage 2. Kraus was top 5 in both stages and ends up with 13 stage points total, second most of any driver tonight. Kraus had a good run at Knoxville last year, except for his couple run-ins at the end of the race, which ended up costing him a good finish. But if he doesn't make any over-aggressive mistakes, he's definitely going to have a great night tonight. Atta Benedetto gets a couple points, was also below the cutoff line. Red flag is out again. Again, no live pit stops tonight. You guys will get to hear the adjustments that some of these teams will be making during the 3-minute break. Which I guess has already started during the commercial break.
More of the same adjustment that they gave him at the last
10-minute break, sorry, in stage 2.
Adjustment. He also mentioned that it seems to pop in the left front really bad. It almost feels like something with the shock is wrong, so they're going to check that out as well while he is in. Josh?
Let's move to the 19 of Derek Kraus. Very strong in stage number 1. Love the bounce of that truck. As the night has gone on, he's started to have a little more issue. He says he just doesn't have grip when they fire off, so they're going to make an adjustment. They also considered making a track bar adjustment, but then on the radio, they're like, well, let's see how they prep the track. They got about 10 minutes to do that, so they're going to watch how they prep the track before they decide if they're going to make any other adjustments with that. As you see, he's got the Swiffer wiping off the front windshield as well. Heather?
And you mentioned in the booth that Zane Smith feels like a little bit of a fish out of water is how he put it to me today. And right now running that top line is what he likes. In practice, he said he felt good up there, but he thought that the track was going to be running the bottom during this race. So it's actually working out for him that the track's there. But when I also talked to his crew chief, Chris Lawson, he said the only weak point with Zane here on these dirt tracks is that he struggles to find turn and he struggles to use the throttle to make that happen. So that's something he's working on. He also reported that the exit off of 4 is completely slicked off. So Chris Lawson told him if it keeps slicking off, the person who's the most patient will benefit the most here on this restart.
And moving to the 88 of Matt Crafton, the common theme for him throughout this race has been he's just been too tight. They're going to make some adjustments to try and free him up and help him out. But there was also some debate on the radio whether or not to come in and pit here. So they left the decision up to what the rest of the people did in the field. As you guys mentioned up top, only 3 people stayed out. So Matt Crafton watched what everyone else did, saw them coming in pit, decided let's come in and pit as well.
Yeah, we talked about it. Crafton hadn't.
There were 6 trucks that stayed out of the pits, one of which was Brett Moffitt in the 22. Grant Enfinger in the 23 also stayed out. Can't make any adjustments, and obviously going to be on older tires. I'm not sure what the tire wear is going to look like. So a little bit of a shakeup. Kaz Gralla also stayed out of the pits as well as Beaufoy in the 51. Kofoid. You say Beaufoy? Combined his first and last name together. He's new. So there were 6 trucks that stayed out, 2 of which were lapped down and are going to take the wave around, getting back on the lead lap, but 4 trucks on the lead lap stayed out of the pits. So that means Gilliland, who won stage 2, will actually have to restart in 5th.
Things teams have said is these tires are a lot harder than the tires that they had last year, so the fall off is not as bad. So the 23 team opting for track position here to go back for this restart. But he also said that he was concerned that starting the race a little too tight wouldn't be good, and he didn't want to have to free it up as the race went on. So maybe they just didn't feel like they needed adjustments here. But the 23 of Grant Enfinger looking to get a win here on the dirt. He's really good. In the last 6 starts, he's finished in the top 10, so he's hoping to continue that trend here tonight.
Interesting. Yeah, and that was a good point about the tire.
And like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as well. 35 likes in the stream. Our goal was 100. We've had over 70 people watching at one point in time in this race. Again, the Truck and Xfinity races don't really pull in too big of numbers, but want to give you guys the live commentary this weekend with no Cup race this weekend, and unfortunately missing last week's race due to some unprecedented circumstances on the channel. We are back at it, and I got to finish up this 10-minute break during stage 2 under the commercial break, and they'll likely be taking their pace laps when we come back. Again, 4 trucks stayed out of the pits. Brett Moffitt will get the restart in the lead. Grant Enfinger will be on the front row as well. And then row 2 also staying out on a little bit older tires would be Kaz Gralla and Buddy Kofoid. Zach Snook, welcome to the stream. Yeah, he's not. He's new to trucks. Making the start for KBM in the 51 tonight. They showed on the on Fox that he was actually the 2021 USAC Midget Series champion. So last year's USAC Midget Series champion. One of the higher level of dirt racing series in the U.S. Definitely has experience. He's ran good at times tonight. He was 15th at the end of stage 2. I think he was on the inside line those last couple restarts and kind of got shuffled back a little bit because he was in the top 10 most of the night. In the top 5 very early in the race after a good performance in his heat race earlier today. R6, welcome to the stream. Wonder how many wrecks will be in the final stage. Be prepared for Wreckfest. I hope not, but we'll hope for the best. So far in this race total, we have had 6 cautions, 4 for incident, 2 stage breaks. The most recent caution for incident, though, was Hocevar blowing an engine, so it wasn't like it was a spin or a wreck of any sort. 1 final stage of racing to go. Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movies, which one would prefer? I haven't seen all of them, so I don't really have much of a say on it. How many have they had now, total? I don't even know how many they've had in total. I want to say I saw the most recent one in theaters that came out like a few years ago. I want to say like 2018, if that sounds right. 2017 to 2019-ish, somewhere around there. So again, we have only had 2 different leaders in tonight's race. Carson Hocevar led the first 65 laps prior to blowing an engine, and then Gillen led the next 26 laps after that. Gillen had ran down Hocevar prior to a caution that came out before Hocevar blew his engine. So it's not necessarily saying that Hocevar was going to dominate the rest of this race. He had a fight. Here is Stage 2 winner Todd Gillen.
Hey Todd, Phil Parsons up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
I feel you're striking out today.
We've had a lot of issues trying to get the driver interviews during the stage breaks today. First, we messed up with Ben Rhodes, and now we've messed up with Todd Gillen. I think they're going to try it again. They're going to try it again. No, they still don't have him.
His team,
They're trying to get a hold of him.
his team's trying to make sure that he hears you.
We'll ask the spotter to ask him a question.
So the truck stopped while that track prep continues. Let's check in again with Heather.
And Jamie, we're going to talk a little track prep for you because as you can see here at Knoxville Raceway, the dirt's going to change all the time. So we've been using a lot of different words. So tacky. This is what tacky looks like. If the dirt falls up in your hand like this, it's tacky. You can also see it's nice and dark, so it's holding the moisture. That's what you want on the racetrack. That will give you a lot of grip. So when you see on the outer groove and inner groove where the berm is, you're going to see that dark moisture. Now, if it starts to get dry, that's when the dirt will crumble in your hands. Now, this is a lot harder because it's been sitting here for a while, but this would be kind of the top line. It's similar to marbles. So when they get up there and they say the track is dirty on the top, that's what it looks like. Now, in the middle of the track, you can tell that it's slicked off because it's shiny. You can see that the light on it is really shiny. That's going to be slippery, and that's why not a lot of trucks have been running that middle line. So they're searching for that tacky moisture on the bottom next to the berm because that's where it's darker, and of course up on the top they have a little bit of a cushion going there. Not as much as you would normally see here with sprint cars. Normally you can lean on the cushion with a sprint car, but these trucks are a little bit different, so they definitely don't want to get four in the fluff, which means they will push higher up like we saw a few trucks do where they get closer to the wall and then everybody just freight trains by you.
The dirt lingo.
I wonder if they're going to try to queue up Gilliland again here anytime soon. We're striking out with the interviews tonight. I have no input in that. So by we, I mean Fox. Black gumbo. No dirt fluff. Kofoid won Indiana Midget Week. More John Deere tractors on the track trying to pack in the dampened mud and dirt after just watering the racetrack during the stage 2 break. I haven't seen any Packer cars or vehicles on the racetrack at all tonight. I would imagine they probably have some. It is Knoxville after all. You don't want it too damp because that is when you're going to have problems with the mud and the dirt caking onto the radiators, potentially causing overheating issues like we saw with Ben Rhodes at the very start of the race. And we had seen that in the Cup Series race at Dirt Bristol earlier this season, as well as in the Truck Series heat races last year at Bristol. That's what they call their dirt. Yes, there are definitely some special layman terms. Yeah, I'd seen that Clint Boyer news earlier in the week. Definitely a tough break for all parties involved in that sad incident last week. Once again, 4 trucks stayed out of the pits, could not make adjustments, and will have to stay out on those older tires that they used in stage 2. So Brett Moffitt will be the 3rd different leader of the race tonight. Fish King 883, welcome to the stream. I didn't realize how much damage the 99 of Ben Rhodes had from earlier in the race when he had all of the dirt and mud caked onto the front of the race truck. Yeah, despite the fact that Ben Rhodes won the truck race at Bristol earlier this season, outside of those first few laps of the race before he had that overheating issue, he has been a non-factor and is still a lap down in 24th. Could see a different winner this Truck Series season if Gilliland wins, but again, he is racing full-time in the Cup Series, so no points on the line for him in this truck race tonight. Knoxville, one of the most awesome places on earth if you like dirt racing, especially sprint cars. I definitely want to go to the Knoxville Nationals sometime. There's a good chance I'm going to be at Eldora for the Kings Royal in July this year. The problem is NASCAR is always racing at Michigan in August, usually the same weekend or around the same weekend that the Knoxville Nationals are going on. And Michigan's my home track, so I mean that's tough to miss the only NASCAR race within a 4-hour radius of me. And Knoxville's so far away; it's about a 10 to 12-hour drive for me. Moffitt will elect the outside lane on the restart. The green flag is in the air. We're underway for Stage 3. Moffitt had probably the best launch of any driver so far on a restart today, and is going to try to get out and hide from the rest of the field behind him. Those drivers on fresher tires that are back in the pack. 17 truck down to the inside, going 3 wide into turns 3 and 4 underneath the 0-2 of Kaz Gralla and the 38 of Zane Smith. Zane Smith also on fresher tires on the outside. It's a big race right now between Zane Smith and Todd Gilliland to try to get past Kofoid and to maybe have a shot at Enfinger following that, and then eventually running down Moffitt on the fresher tires. Smith lifted off the exit of turn 2 to keep it off the wall, as he may have gotten back in the gas just a bit too soon prior to that. And that's going to allow the 17 truck to get another run at him. Slide job now by the 17, and he is clear off the exit of turn 4. Gilliland now to P4. Derek Kraus right in line behind Zane Smith, as well as John Hunter Nemechek as they run 5th, 6th, and 7th. Top 3 still on the older tires, trying to hang in as much as they possibly can. Moffitt has about a 3-second gap back to Gilliland in 4th. That is the big interval we are watching. But obviously, this race can't go caution-free to the end, you wouldn't think. Oh, and now, so word from NASCAR that Brett Moffitt has jumped the restart. So Moffitt jumps the restart, launching before the Geico restart zone. And he will get the black flag. So Moffitt from the lead jumps the restart. This will now mean that Grant Enfinger will be the new leader. And we are going to have a lot tighter battle for the race lead as a result, with about 54 laps to go. I'm not sure how exactly Moffitt is going to have to serve this penalty. He's going to pull into the pits. I'm not sure what a pass-through penalty necessarily entails. But nevertheless, a tough break for Moffitt. And Enfinger now kind of pulling away a little bit from Kofoid and the rest of the field. And actually, Kofoid has just been passed by both Todd Gilliland and now by Zane Smith. 1.3 second difference between Enfinger and Gilliland. They are 1st and 2nd. Zane Smith the 3rd. Buddy Kofoid in 4th, and John Hunter Nemechek rounds out the top 5. Nemechek looking to the inside of Kofoid into turns 1 and 2 for 4th place, while Derek Kraus sits right behind them on the outside lane. Stuart Friesen running maybe a little bit of that upper lane, but kind of in the middle as well, just a hair below where Kraus was running in front of him in the middle. Slide job attempt now by Nemechek, and he gets into Kofoid, contact on the outside, and now Kraus is going to get by the 51 as well, but he can't quite get both of them. So both the KBM trucks of Nemechek and Kofoid have contact after Nemechek's slide job attempt, and then ran right into the left front fender of Kofoid's race truck. Nemechek to 4th with that move, Kraus to 5th, and now Friesen will get by for 6th. 50 to go this time by, 2/3 of the way home tonight at Knoxville. For the running of the Clean Harbors 150 live on KRC. So again, if you're just tuning in, wondering what has gone down in the race today, Carson Hocevar dominated the early going to the race, and I'll wait on that a second because we have a battle for the lead now with 49 to go as Gillen has quickly caught Grant Enfinger. Quickly goes to the bottom. The first shot he had through 1 and 2 and will easily clear Enfinger off the exit of the corner on those fresher tires. A little bit of a divot, it looks like, dipping down in the middle of turns 3 and 4. We'll have to see how much that's going to get worked in throughout the rest of the night. Especially with how low the trucks tend to sit. Could damage somebody's splitter. Hopefully I'm not foreshadowing anything. Nemechek has rolled his way right past the 38 truck now of Zane Smith for third. And Smith not able to keep up with Nemechek. Nemechek may have the fastest truck on the track right now as he is going to blow by Enfinger for second. So in 2 laps back-to-back, he passes the third and now the second place race truck. And he is about a second off the lead from Gillen. So even though Gillen looked super fast at the end of Stage 2 and quickly rocketed himself to the lead in the first 15 laps of Stage 3, John Hunter Nemechek trying to put up a fight and not let this just be a one-car show in the final stage. Side-by-side commercial break from Fox right now. Again, if you are just tuning in, Carson Hocevar led the first 65 laps, dominated, won Stage 1, but then blew an engine on a restart middle of Stage 2. He is out, ends up with a 35th place finish. From then, Todd Gillen took the race lead away. He led to the end of Stage 2 and winning the second stage. In stage number 3, Brett Moffitt restarted in the lead. Ford truck stayed out of the pits during the Stage 2 break to be able to stay out in front and get the track position. Moffitt had a great launch on the restart, but it was too great, as in fact he had left and gotten into the throttle, speeding up before the Geico restart zone, resulting in a penalty for jumping the restart. He had to make a pass-through penalty now, and he is no longer, actually he is the last car in the lead lap. It looks like 19 seconds off the lead. So a tough break for Brett Moffitt with that penalty on the restart for jumping the gun. And Todd Gillen, rather, is the race leader ahead of John Hunter Nemechek in second place. Third place is Grant Enfinger, Zane Smith fourth, Stuart Friesen is fifth, Ty Majeski sixth, Derek Kraus seventh, Christian Eckes eighth, Tanner Gray ninth, and Tyler Ankrum rounds out the top 10. Buddy Kofoid, who was in second just a few laps ago, is now back to 11th. Matt Crafton's in 12th, Chandler Smith 13th, Kaz Gralla 14th, Matt DiBenedetto 15th, Haley Deegan 16th, Colby Howard 17th, Jack Wood 18th, Dylan Westbrook in 19th, and Chase Purdy rounds out the top 20. Brett Moffitt up to 21st, Lawless Allen 22nd, then everybody for 23rd on back is a lap down. Ben Rhodes in 23rd after an overheating issue back at Stage 1. Timmy Hill in 24th, Blaine Perkins 25th, Joey Gase 26th, Dean Thompson 27th. 28th is Devin Rouse. Brayton Laster 29th, Bryson Mitchell is in 30th. Chris Wright 31st, Spencer Boyd 32nd, 33rd is Thad Moffitt, Jessica Friesen 34th. And then Carson Hocevar, Tyler Carpenter out of the race today. And I think Jessica Friesen's out of the race as well. All had incidents at some point in Stage 2. So 3 trucks out, still 33 on the track. 38 entered the field at the start of the day in the heat races, but 36 made the main event. 67 flips in the Chili Bowl this year. Is that actually true? That seems like a lot. Like a really... 67. Chili Bowl would also be a really cool event to go to also. Fish King hoping for a caution late to bunch the field back together again. It's a 2-truck breakaway right now as they're 4 seconds ahead of third on back. As they work into lap traffic, that's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to work as well. Christian Eckes has made a great rally just past Derek Kraus a couple laps ago with a bump and run move to get to 7th. Kraus kind of crowded Eckes in the middle of the corner, though. It looked like he chopped him off quite a bit, so I don't really think it was more of an aggressive move by Eckes as too aggressive of a move by Kraus. Speaking of aggressive, battle for the lead between Gilliland and Nemechek, and a battle for the bottom lane as they hug the burn through 3 and 4. Gilliland got a little bit of a bump from behind by Nemechek, but he didn't budge. Now Nemechek goes to the outside lane in turns 1 and 2, going to try to build up momentum off the exit of the corner, and we have a caution on the racetrack. Matt DiBenedetto has brought out the next... that is the 46 truck, rather. It looked like DiBenedetto at first in the Dust Bowl. It's Bryson Mitchell in the 46. So the 46 truck looks to have gotten into the outside walls very slow on the front stretch, bringing out a caution with just 37 laps to go. And the Clean Harbors 150 at Knoxville. It's going to set up a late race restart. Our first caution for incident in stage 3 and our 7th caution of the race total. Only 5th for incident. It's been a good night of racing. This is going by a lot smoother than last year's race so far. Knock on wood. Fish King did get his caution. Ask and you shall receive, Fish King. I wouldn't ask for too many more. I don't want to see a wreckfest like we did last year at the end of this one. I worked earlier today, so I'm a little tired. So if you are wondering why I'm making some, verbal mistakes with some of the names tonight, I apologize for that. It's probably just me being tired. Been up since, I think I set my alarm for 4:40 today, so been up since then. Eastern Standard Time. So it's been, if this stream makes it to 11:40, I will have been up for 19 consecutive hours. If you're wondering why I'm a little tired and maybe the live commentary isn't as top-notch as usual, that would be why. Ben Rhodes did get the free pass prior to the caution flag, so finally going to be back on the lead lap in 23rd. Over half the race, Rhodes was lapped down. Fox stat was stated that he has spent 83 laps, 1 lap down in this race today, but now finally Ben Rhodes is back on the lead lap. Have to work at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow, so you're staying up late to watch this race. I remember last year's Knoxville race, it was on a Friday night, and so I worked Friday, Saturday, and then my weekend, Sunday, Monday at work, so that's how I'm able to do the live race commentary for the Cup races. I'm always able to watch the Cup Series races and give you guys the content there, but the truck and the Xfinity races, unless they're at night, I can't give you guys the content for that. I can't give you guys a live commentary for it because I'm at work. Well, essentially, last year in Knoxville, I tried to do the live stream on a Friday night, and ever since then, I have not done a Friday night live stream for the Truck Series because it was a wreck fest, and the race didn't get over until about midnight, and I went into work on like 4 hours of sleep that next morning, and that was after working, so I was up from basically about the same time, about 4:45 in the morning that Friday, stayed all the way up till midnight, and then went into work the same time again the next morning. It was terrible. And I was like, you know what, I'm not doing that again. So ever since that point last season, I'm like, I'm not doing any more Friday night live streams. I just can't do it while I have my job. Now, if this obviously ever becomes a full-time job for me, and I'm working, part-time at Home Depot or not working there at all anymore, and this is my way of living, obviously I will give you guys, every truck race, every Xfinity race, every Cup race, but the Friday night races definitely can't do anymore. And even Saturday nights kind of, from time to time I will do it. But I can't do it on a consistent basis week in and week out because, like I mentioned, I'm definitely pretty beat. Like, I can do Friday, Saturday night streams, with NASCAR 06 because I'm starting the races at like 6 o'clock and they're getting over by like 8-ish, 9 o'clock at the latest. But this race didn't start until just after 9. I think the drop of the green flag was about 9:15, 9:20, so it's definitely a late one. Much like the 600 this year. Yeah, but luckily with the 600, I was off of work on Monday because my weekends are Sunday, Monday. So that didn't bother me. I didn't feel tired at all during that one. That was after going to the Indy 500 earlier in the day, too. Kind of glad the race went as long as it did because I actually got home before the end of stage 3. Probably saw the last 125 laps or so of the race on my TV. Watched the rest on my laptop, passenger seat in the truck on the way home. 11:09 here. It's close enough, yeah. It's getting close. Doing this for you guys. I'm just hoping that we don't get a melee of cautions that extend this race anymore like last year. I'm just thankful I don't have to work tomorrow, though. I'm definitely going to be sleeping in. Vended Tulsa Expo Center for 600s. Not the midgets. Absolutely love to go. It's on the bucket list. Yeah, for sure. Mine too. Yeah, so the truck race next Friday night is at 7:30. I know I was just talking about Friday night streams. I probably won't do it. I'm hesitating. I might do that one. No guarantees, though. But doing the live commentary on Sunday for the Cup race, I'm probably just going to stick with that. But we'll see. I'll know by Monday. That's when I release the weekly streaming schedule in the community tab on the channel. So you'll know on Monday in the community tab. I'll be streaming that on Friday night or something else. Hit that like button if you haven't already. The goal was 100 tonight. I don't think we're going to get there necessarily, but we've had over 70 people watching a couple different times on the stream today, and currently we have just over 60 people still watching and only 41 likes, so hit that like button. Get off at 1:30 tomorrow. At least it's early. Not like you're going in and having to work a long day. I think you'll survive. The bumper bar is sticking out of the back of the 16 of Tyler Ankrum right now. He's in 9th place. I don't know if he's going to get black flagged for that or not, because if somebody tries to put the bumper to Ankrum, then they're going to have issues with their truck. Green flag is going to be back in the air, and the 17 going to elect the inside lane on the restart. We haven't seen anybody do that since the very start of the race today. We'll see if it'll work out for him. Nemechek was on the outside of the opening row on the restart, and he is keeping up with the 17 truck. And remember, that outside groove has been the preferred lane so far in this race. Contact for third further back as Zane Smith completely doors the 23 truck of Enfinger out of the way. And Nemechek is clear up high into turn 1 and will take over his first lead of the race. The race is on between the 4 of Nemechek and the 17 of Todd Gilliland, and Zane Smith trying to close from third place behind, freezing up to 4th, getting by the 23 truck of Enfinger as well on that last lap. Friesen running the outside, everybody else in front of him down on the bottom that time through turns 1 and 2. Gilliland is still not that far behind the Ford truck right now of John Hunter Nemechek. Again, Nemechek in first, Todd Gilliland second, Zane Smith in third, Stuart Friesen fourth, and Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 5. Late in this race, 25 laps to go now at the line. Friesen has a massive run on the front straightaway. Smith running the bottom. Friesen on the outside. Caution further back in the pack. Our 8th of the day. It's Moffitt. Damage to the front of the 22. Tanner Gray also involved. Heavy damage around his left rear corner panel. Another mid-pack caution. Seen me around YouTube before, never really got involved in your chats. Glad I did, though. It's good to talk to everybody. Looking forward to more. Thank you, Zach. Thank you for coming back and, yeah, being a part of the chat. It's always fun to talk racing with you guys and even with you guys amongst yourselves. Obviously, when I'm doing the commentary during the green flag stints of the race, it's hard to look at the chat at the same time unless there's a commercial, but try to give as much feedback to you guys as well as the race itself, giving you the feedback there. Tough break for Moffitt. What a whirlwind of emotions in the final stage. Went from restarting in the lead to jump in the restart, which put him back in traffic for this restart, which essentially ended up ending with him in an accident. Haven't seen a replay yet of how it started or anything of that nature, but Brett Moffitt and Tanner Gray involved in another caution, our 8th yellow of the race tonight. The 16 truck having to come down onto pit road to get the bumper bar off the back of his race truck. He was inside the top 10, so tough break there. He's in 10th when that caution actually came out. We'll take a full field rundown of the order right now as we have a caution with just over 20 laps to go. John Hunter Nemechek took the lead on the restart. Todd Gillen is in 2nd. Zane Smith is in 3rd. Stuart Friese in 4th. Derek Kraus rounds out the top 5. Grant Enfinger in 6th. Ty Majeski in 7th. Buddy Kofoid up to 8th. Matt Kraft in 9th. And Christian Eckes rounds out the top 10. Haley Deegan in 11th, Chandler Smith 12th, Matt DiBenedetto 13th, Dylan Westbrook 14th, Lawless Allen 15th, Jack Woods 16th, Chase Purdy 17th, Colby Howard 18th, Ben Rhodes up to 19th, and Tyler Ankrum is 20th after just pitting during this caution. Timmy Hill in 21st, Kaz Gralla, last truck on the lead lap in 22nd. The 56 truck of Timmy Hill got the free pass during this caution. Blaine Perkins is the first truck a lap down in 23rd. He's 2 down. Dean Thompson's 2 laps down in 24th. Joey Gay's 25th. Devin Rouse in 26th. 27th, Tanner Gray was just involved in that accident. Brayton Laster in 28th. Brett Moffitt now out of the race in 29th. He was also involved in this last incident. And Chris Wright is 30th. Thad Moffitt 31st. Spencer Boyd 32nd. 33rd is Bryson Mitchell. And then 34th through 36th, also out of the race, Jessica Friesen. Carson Hocevar blew an engine while leading in Stage 2, and then Tyler Carpenter. Also out of the race, he'll end up finishing last. Keith Armstrong, welcome into the stream. Austin Reed, welcome as well. A couple people rooting for Haley Deegan. She may get her first top 10 of the season tonight. She's been solidly pretty much 10th to pretty much 16th all race, kind of fluctuating back and forth on the restarts. It really depends what lane you're in. If you're in the outside, which I think Deegan was on that last restart, she went from 16th to 11th. If you're on the outside, it's very easy to pick up 3 or more spots on the restart. She's going to be on the bottom lane this time, so that's going to hurt. She would have been actually in 12th, but because Ankrum had to pit from the top 10, that's going to actually shuffle her up to 11th. So she's not going to be in the preferred lane. It's going to be interesting if Nemechek will pick the outside or the inside. I'm shocked Gillen went to the bottom. The only other time we saw trucks pick the bottom lane for the start/restart was in the heat races earlier in the day when the groove was around the bottom, and then the very start of the race today when Derek Kraus started on the pole took the bottom, but then it was Hocevar who took the lead on the outside. So every restart we've seen pretty much every start or restart in this race, we have seen the outside lane, or at least the truck on the outside in row 1, get to the lead every time. So that's why it's so shocking that Gillen picked the bottom, and now he's going to be stuck on the bottom with Nemechek electing the outside for what could potentially be the final restart of the race. They'll get the 1 to go signal, so we'll have about 19 laps to go when we go green this time by. Lights are back on the pace truck, so they will not be going green this time. They'll wave it off, and they will be going green with 18 to go the following time by, it looks like.
After this race, him and his wife Jessica and his son Parker. They're getting on a plane and headed back to Charlotte. Then 9 a.m. tomorrow, they'll be on a plane headed to Albany, New York. Then they will hop in their hauler and drive up to Devil's Bowl in Bear Haven, Vermont, where he's going to race his modified on Sunday. And then Parker and Jessica, they're going to be slinging t-shirts out of their t-shirt trailer. So last year he ran he ran 78 modified races and won 34 of them alongside truck racing. This guy loves to race. Dirt's where it's at, and he's headed there Sunday as well, which is...
I was going to say, it's a 23-race truck series schedule plus 78 modified races on top of it. That is a lot of racing throughout the course of the year. That is almost 100 races. Actually, that's more than 100. It's 101 races total throughout the course of the season, which is insane. J-Dog 2019, Sid for Brains. Welcome to the stream as well. Green flag back in the air. Nemechek on the outside lane. Got a good launch. Quickly pulled to the bottom in the middle of the corner to get down in front of the 17. Has he opened up the top enough for Friesen, who is slinging it way sideways, really on his race truck out. He'll get to the outside of the 17 truck in a battle for second now. Friesen still on the outside, bounces wildly through turns 3 and 4 through that dip that is still being cratered in the middle of the corner. Hasn't cleared the 17 yet. A little smoother through 1 and 2, and he should be able to complete the pass now. Nemechek still on the bottom near the burn on the inside. Friesen's been good on the top prior to that last caution, and he has driven his way up to second. Remember, he had a flat right rear tire at the end of stage 1, was at the tail end of the lead lap at one point to start stage 2, and now he's slowly clawing himself back up towards the front. Nemechek again to the bottom to protect. Friesen to the outside through 1 and 2, side by side for the race lead. Friesen really sideways, really working the wheel of that race car, trying to stand back into the gas now on the back straightaway. Crossover move to the bottom. Now Nemechek goes to the outside. The 52 of Friesen goes down low. A lot of other trucks behind Friesen went to the outside that time. Friesen's got to pull up higher. He may lose the outside lane to the 17 of Gillen, and that happened to be the case. 15 laps to go. Can John Hunter Nemechek hold on with Hungary packed right behind him? Little too early for Friesen to go to the bottom, and he is stuck there now getting freight trained around trucks on the outside. Nemechek got to go back to the inside lane as he's starting to slowly pull away, but with Gilliland and Kraus up high getting around Friesen, now they're starting to run down John Hunter Nemechek. I am shocked that Nemechek is still down low. Friesen may have had a shot to get above to the outside lane. Now he's going to try to force his way up there with the 38 of Zane Smith there. He's not going to be able to do that. He will in line behind Smith, and Friesen falls from 2nd to 5th after a failed attempt at trying to pass Nemechek a couple laps ago on the bottom. Nemechek still hugging the inside, refusing to go to the top. Again goes to the bottom, and here comes Todd Gilliland closing in. 12 laps to go at the line this time by. Gilliland with a run on the front stretch. Will he try the crossover and the slide job move into 1 and 2? He has a run. He doesn't go for it. He's going to be patient with it. He saw Friesen's mistake earlier. Nemechek went to the top to block. A little contact from the back of the Ford truck off the front bumper of the 17. And if these guys get to racing too aggressively, Derek Kraus might be there. Kraus needs a win to get into the playoffs. 39 points below the cutoff line coming in with 3 races to go in the regular season after the checkered flag flies tonight. That would knock 3-time Truck Series champion Matt Crafton as the first driver below the cutoff line if Kraus or another driver below the cutoff line goes to victory lane today. Nemechek up high. Here's the slingshot move to the bottom now by Gillen. Will he complete the pass? Side by side through 3 and 4. 10 to go this time by. Not clear off the exit of the corner. Still side by side. He's got another shot through 1 and 2. Less momentum to carry this time. But off the exit of the corner, he's going to be clear. Nemechek with the crossover down to the bottom now. Can he get back around the 17? Side by side again, but now the 17's up high, and the 4 of Nemechek's down low. Nemechek drives it in deep in the middle of the corner, trying to clear the 17. Not going to be able to do it. He has to drop in line behind him. Gilliland is clear off turn 4 with 9 to go. Caution is out, back in the pack. The 24 truck has spun. And right after Todd Gilliland cleared Nemechek for the lead and was going to look to set sail and go away, The caution comes out to bunch him back up again. Great racing after that restart. Nice clean, but really aggressive. Perfect slide jobs being pulled off by both the 4 and the 17. That was fun to watch. This is caution number 9 for incident tonight. If I do my math correctly. Tanner Gray will get the free pass. Yeah, this is the 9th yellow. Earl Arnold Jr., welcome to the stream. Hocevar still led the most laps. Gilliland's closing in on him. He's got 50. Hocevar is 65. The only way Gilliland has a shot to lead the most laps is if this race goes to a couple overtimes, which is not impossible. The outside's been the way to go in the restart, but the last time Gilliland had the lane choice, he went to the bottom, and that burned him. Nemechek got around on the outside about a lap after the restart. But he's got a shot to redeem himself now, as he was able to finally get back to the lead just prior to the caution to get this lane choice for himself. There's a single truck spin by the 24. Not a lot of damage out on the track. This should be a quick caution. And if I had to guess, we're probably going to go green with anywhere between 4 or 5 laps to go. So this will not be an overtime restart. ALJ, welcome to the stream. Jessica flipped in turn 4. A couple people are saying she flipped. I don't think she did she? Somebody said she flipped earlier. I did not see it. I didn't see a replay of it. I didn't see it flip. I mean, she was up on the burn, but the truck was on all 4 wheels and her front tires are up on it. Fans' view of it? Got on the bump, flipped her, and then she landed back on all 4. I wish Fox had a replay of that. I'm surprised I missed it. Well, then again, I'm not surprised. Well, let me refrain my last comment. So if Derek Kraus wins, again, that'll bump 3-time series champion Matt Crafton below the cutoff line, and he's 33 points behind Enfinger as they run, with Enfinger being in the top 10. That would also put Hocevar from 58 points above the cutoff line to about 36 points above the cutoff line. Hocevar came into the day 87 points to the good, but if Kraus could go to victory lane today and pull off the upset, that is going to end up putting Hocevar all of a sudden just 36 points ahead. That means he'll lose 51 points on the cutoff line with his engine failure earlier in the race. They're getting the 1 to go signal, so there will be 4 laps to go in the restart, as I kind of expected there would be. Will this be the final restart of the race? We have seen a lot of great racing so far tonight. This potentially is the best truck race on dirt that we have seen. Maybe. If we have a classic finish to go along with it, you never know. I think 2018 in the truck series was really good. This might, at Eldora, this might top it. You never know. We'll see. On the outside is Gilliland. He does not elect the inside lane this time. Nemechek is probably going to try to send it into 1 and 2. Can he time out the restart well enough? Green flag back in the air. Straight shoot off. The 17 is going to be clear. Will he pull to the bottom in the middle of the corner? No, he will not. He's going to protect the outside all the way through turns 1 and 2. Nemechek with a good run off the exit. He's still underneath the 17 truck. Now he is going to send it into turns 3 and 4, but he's a little too far back. And Zane Smith may take over second place. Gilliland is clear with 3 laps to go at the line. Still side by side for second between Nemechek on the bottom and the 38 of Zane Smith up high. Smith struggling with that outside lane just a little bit. Nemechek will clear him off the exit of turn 2, and Nemechek is going to have about a 2.5 lap attempt to try and get to him. But now Nemechek's getting a bump from behind by the 38 truck. Nearly spun him out off the exit of turn 4. And after the contact in that battle for second, Gilliland is getting away. Kraus all over the back bumper of Ty Majeski as they battle just inside the top 5. Stuart Friesen going to take over that spot away from Kraus. There's a slow truck on the backstretch trying to get himself to pit road. White flag is in the air, though. 1 lap to go, so we will not see an overtime finish tonight. It will end likely under green. A 1.2 second lead for Todd Gilliland on the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. A one-off start for a rookie in the Cup Series. The only Cup regular in the field today is going to shine, winning, getting 4 to victory on dirt at Knoxville. Gilliland wins his first race of the season. The second inaugural Knoxville truck race will go to Todd Gilliland. John Hunter Nemechek will end up in second place. A valiant effort from him tonight. Zane Smith is going to end up finishing in third. Ty Majeski fourth. And Stuart Friesen will round out the top 5. Derek Kraus in 6th. Matt Kraft in 7th. Grant Enfinger 8th. Tyler Anker 9th. And Ben Rhodes comes back to finish in the top 10. We'll go through the rest of the finishing results to today's race after you see the interview from race winner Todd Gilliland, who is doing burnouts right now. Dirt racing style. It's the first win for Gilliland under his own team. Well, not his own team, but his dad's own team. Major fireworks show going on the back straightaway right now, too. That was a big win for David Gilliland Racing. And you're probably going to get an interview, it looks like, from Todd Gilliland. Or, sorry, not only Todd Gilliland, but David Gilliland as well. Christian Heidenkamp, welcome to the stream. Oscar Ramirez Herrera, welcome. Thank you for everybody tuning in there right at the end. I don't know how many viewers we have. We had 97 before that final restart. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. But don't go anywhere. You'll get to hear all the post-race interviews. We'll go through the full finishing results before we end tonight's live stream. 9 yellows. We did not get to double digits in a truck race on dirt. Unbelievable. We never had any major wrecks. Couple spins here and there. Really, there were a couple mechanical failures that made it 9 incidents, plus 2 stage breaks. I think there were really only 4 or 5 actual spins or accidents in the race today. Been here since an hour ago. Well, thanks for watching all night. Yeah, there you go. How about that? I didn't even think about that. Father's Day weekend, and he gets a win for his dad's team nonetheless. That's awesome.
Race of the season. You get the win. First time racing for your father's team. You get the win. What a Father's Day present, huh?
Right, man. We were talking about that before the race here. I got us some golf tomorrow, some Father's Day brunch and some golf. My mom and fiance, everyone's out of town, so just me and him. So this will make tomorrow a lot more fun. Just so amazing, man. It's been in the Cup Series is tough. Just racing every single week. I've had like a million people ask me, "Is this really what you want to do on your off weekend?" And Absolutely, man. Nothing beats racing. I've been telling everyone I'm young, and I wish I could do this every single weekend of the year. So, just so happy for Seth Smith, my whole team, David Gilland Racing, Ford especially, front row for letting me do it. So, just man, really, really cool. Just so thankful. Frontline Enterprises. There's so many people that I love the trucks here. I ran here forever. It felt like so to be able to come back and to get one, man, it's so special.
What was the key? What did it take out there to get a win tonight?
Oh, I just had an amazing truck. These DGR guys prepared me a really good one. My dad literally called me Monday afternoon. I was getting lunch. He's like, "Man, you want to run this truck race?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So, we got fit in his seat on Tuesday afternoon, but just an amazing truck, man. These guys work so hard, and the 17 truck's been really fast a lot this year. So, finally get it a win. I think they're close to the playoff. Owners playoff deal too, so hopefully it helped them a little bit, and I'll be anxiously watching the rest of the year now. I feel like a little part of me is going to stay in this truck.
Congratulations, Todd. And Heather, you're with his father.
That's right, and I'm not sure if I should call him team owner or dad, but happy Father's Day, David Gilliland. What a way to start things off. You told me in Sonoma you were thinking about putting Todd in the truck. What does it mean to you to see him get a win in his first time in one of your trucks?
Oh, it's awesome. Johnny Gray and I had a long phone conversation on Monday, and we reached out to Todd to see if he could run this race for us. I knew he could win here, and just super special for DGR. Everybody's been working really, really hard. Haven't been off to the start of the season that we were hoping for, but hopefully this will be a good shot in the arm. Just super proud of Todd. Super proud of Seth Smith. He's been with me since day one. He's won K&N championships. This is his first Truck Series win, and I think the first of many to come. So. Have all the faith in the world in him and in our organization, and just really proud of everybody at DGR. Everybody's been working really hard. This is truly a team effort, and just super proud. Super proud. I told him when the race started, I said, "Bud, all I want for Father's Day is that trophy." So, anyway, we're going to be taking it home on the plane with us.
Well, congratulations and happy Father's Day to you, David.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the crowd and the fans. Everybody came out here tonight. What a night and day difference from last year. So kudos to the track and NASCAR and everybody. I think this was a great event.
Jamie?
And I second that one.
Quick look at the playoff standings on not on our screen, but I'll read them off to you quickly. Crafton's points gap has narrowed a little bit, with Kraus outscoring him total in points today by 6, but Crafton was able to sneak in with a 7th place finish, only 1 spot behind Kraus, but Kraus had 5 more stage points than Crafton earlier in the day. Actually scored 13 stage points today compared to Crafton. He was 39 points behind him coming in. Now he's 27 behind him with 3 races to go in the regular season. They'll be racing next weekend on Friday night at Nashville. We'll be live for the Cup Series live commentary next weekend at Nashville, but the next live stream on the channel will be tomorrow. Changing things up start time wise, we will be running a NASCAR Busch Series race tomorrow afternoon at noon Eastern Standard Time. So our Cup race at Dover will be on Monday, but tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time will be the next live stream, and it will be the Busch Series at Dover on NASCAR 06, our Do It for Dale series there. We'll try to keep that comeback alive in the Busch Series season, and then the Cup race will be Monday nights. So happy Father's Day, early Father's Day to all the dads out there watching the stream, or the son, daughter of a father, that make sure you wish them a happy Father's Day this weekend as well. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Road to becoming a NASCAR commentator for real NASCAR races down the road, and of course the road to 3,000 subs on the channel as well. Appreciate the support you guys gave me. About 100 people watching the live stream tonight. That's pretty good for a truck race, because usually the Cup races are the big live streams on the channel with the live race commentary. But I'm glad you guys tuned in and enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it too. It was a great night of racing. It was a great show. Honestly, the 3 truck races we've done this year, probably the cleanest truck races of the season so far. So maybe I'm the good luck charm for the Truck Series. But regardless of the fact, thank you everybody. I'll see you guys next time.